Teacher's phone rings mid-speech. With wide eyes and excitement he can barely contain, he turns to the class and declares, "The awakening platform is ready." Cue absolute chaos. Students leap from their chairs like it's the last day of school. Cheers echo through the halls as they stampede toward the platform. But in the back corner of the classroom, one student doesn't move. Lu Fan stays seated, eyes calm. The teacher walks over, puzzled. "Lu Fan, you re the top student. You've got nothing to worry about." But Lu Fan isn't hesitating because he's scared. It's because, bam! He just awakened a system out of nowhere. Super treasure map system activated. Lu Fan stares blankly. What? Now? Before he can process this surprise upgrade, the teacher slams a hand on his desk. "Lu Fan! You all right?" Snapping out of it, Lu Fan quickly nods. "All good, sir. Just visualizing success." Then, like a man on a mission, he dashes toward the awakening platform. As he runs, he reflects, of course, I'd get a system. I am a transmigrator, after all. Classic. But system analysis could wait. First things first, awakening ceremony. As the students gathered, they gawked at the colossal glowing crystal at the center of the platform. This was the medium for awakening, an ancient artifact that would determine their future. Tension crackled in the air like static. The teacher tried to keep everyone calm, but between dreams of glory and fears of disappointment, no one was listening. Lu Fan overheard a student whispering, "I hope I get a hidden class, maybe even a Saint-tier combat class." His buddy chuckled and brought him back to earth. "Yeah, and I hope I wake up with six-pack abs. Let's just try not to get chef or latrine cleaner, all right?" Soon, the ceremony officially began. The Grandmaster stepped onto the stage, his voice carrying over the crowd like a battle horn. "Let this year's awakening ceremony begin." He motioned toward a figure in flowing robes, the priest conducting the ceremony. As the priest walked up, students couldn't help but gawk at his dominating presence. This guy didn't look like a mere support class. He looked like he could tank a dungeon boss solo. Lu Fan's newly awakened system chimed in again, giving him a shiny new ability, Eye of Appraisal. "Let's test this bad boy." He focused on the priest. Instantly, information popped into view. Level 29 professional skills, professional awakening net worth, 5 million dragon coins. Lu Fan blinked. 5 million. My aunt would have to steam buns till the next era to make that much. Before he could dwell on the staggering wealth gap, the headmaster raised his voice again, signaling the start of the roll call. Names were being called one by one. First up, Jing Dao, the golden boy of Section 25. Rumored to have god-tier attributes, Jing Dao was the student everyone loved, and loved to envy. Watch, he's definitely getting something epic. As Jing Dao stepped onto the stage, the priest began chanting. The massive crystal pulsed with energy, glowing brighter and brighter, until, with a sudden whoosh, a fireball shot out. Pyromancer! The crowd gasped. A combative profession, and a rare one at that. The girl screamed, hearts pounding. Jing Dao conjured a small fireball in his palm and smirked. He was basically printing date requests at this point. Lu Fan watched the scene unfold, his jaw tight. This was what power looked like. This was the difference between struggle and success. If I can awaken a combative class, he thought, I can change everything. But the universe wasn't handing out fireballs to everyone. As the ceremony continued, most students ended up with subsistence professions, herbalist, tailor, miner, and so on. Useful? Absolutely. Glorious? Not quite. These were the people who made the world turn, but they didn't exactly get groupies. Lu Fan realized the truth. Despite all the dreams and hype, combative professions were rare. Most would leave this ceremony with nothing more than calluses and humble paychecks. And soon, it would be his turn. Awakening as a combative professional meant everything in this world: fame, power, fortune. It was the golden ticket out of mediocrity. Meanwhile, a subsistence profession meant you would likely end up working 9 to 5 just to survive. Still, not everyone saw it as a curse. A student ahead of Lu Fan whispered to their friend, honestly, even a subsistence profession isn't so bad. Better than a reinforcing class if you were re-broke. They brought up Li Ping from Section 3. Her family was already struggling financially, and yet she awakened as a reinforcing professional, a class that required tons of money just to level up. Skills? Useful. Maintenance? Bank breaking. For someone like her, it might have been better to get a profession like tailor or apothecary. At least she could earn a steady living. Lu Fan overheard and felt his stomach tighten. His family wasn't well off either. If he ended up with a profession that required wealth to grow, he'd be stuck right from the start. Just then, the headmaster's voice rang out across the platform. Lu Fan, step up! As he walked toward the awakening pedestal, the atmosphere shifted. The girls in the crowd suddenly took notice. One of them whispered, "Wait. Is Lu Fan actually hot?" Another giggled, "Smart, handsome, and mysterious. Please let him awaken as something cool." But Lu Fan was focused. No distractions now. He stepped up to the glowing crystal, inhaled sharply, and placed his hands on it. No point being nervous now, he told himself. The priest resumed his chant, and in the next moment, everything changed. A vision exploded in Lu Fan's mind. A red dragon with blazing yellow eyes locked onto him. The earth trembled. Students stumbled, grabbing each other for balance. Golden light poured from the crystal, completely engulfing Lu Fan. Then, a dragon appeared. Not in the vision. In real life. A golden dragon, born from the awakening light, soared above the ceremony grounds. Gasps filled the air. Teachers dropped their notepads. The crowd froze. A hidden profession? One of the female teachers turned to Teacher Lee, wide-eyed. "Your section produced a hidden professional." Teacher Lee nearly fainted from joy. Hidden professionals were legendary, rare, powerful, and capable of altering the fate of kingdoms. If Lu Fan awakened as a dragon blood warrior or a dragon language mage, he wouldn't just be famous, he'd be historic. They hadn't seen someone awaken as a dragon blood warrior in over 10 years. The dragon roared. A sound so thunderous it shook the sky and made students cover their ears. Then, as suddenly as it came, the beast vanished. The headmaster bolted toward Lu Fan, barely containing his excitement. "Tell me, did you awaken as a dragon blood warrior? Or dragon language mage?" Lu Fan looked up. Calm. Stoic. Then sighed. "No. I awakened as a dragon tamer." Silence. Like someone hit the mute button on reality. The headmaster blinked. "You or what?" A few students whispered. Others straight up laughed. "Isn't that the most worthless hidden class in existence? You get a whole light show for that." Despite the ceremony ending in such dramatic fashion, Lu Fan found himself walking alone through the old town of Ganghai City later that day. His system interface hovered beside him like a personal HUD. Profession, Dragon Tamer level, 10 special skill, can tame dragons and dragon-like creatures. Net worth, 239 dragon coins, and not exactly the salary of a future legend, Lu Fan muttered. Flashbacks of the ceremony haunted him. Shocked teachers, mocking students, even his own doubts echoed in his mind. Sure, he had a hidden class, but it was the least useful one of the bunch. Why? Because dragons are ridiculously rare. And if you do find one? Good luck not becoming crispy toast. Dragons weren't pets. They were apex predators. Tamers needed absurd strength, charisma, and sheer luck just to get close, let alone gain loyalty. Some clueless students still didn't get the issue. Wait, if Dragon Tamer is one of the 3 great hidden professions, why is it so looked down on? Another student answered bluntly, because most people never even see a dragon. Taming one? That's fantasy-level nonsense. The headmaster, though clearly disappointed, tried to console Lu Fan. He gave him a gentle pat on the shoulder and said, "It's still a hidden profession, Lu Fan. Boundless potential. Maybe you can start with sub-dragon species? Grow stronger from there." It wasn't much, but it was something. And for Lu Fan, that was enough. Because no matter how weak or useless people thought his path was, he was going to prove them all wrong. But Lu Fan knew better. All the headmasters talk about potential didn't mean much without a real dragon. Sub-dragon species? Just glorified beasts with an attitude problem. Nowhere near the majestic, terrifying power of a true dragon. And the worst part? In the entire 800-year history of the Dragon Kingdom, dragons had appeared, sure, but a dragon tamer actually taming one? Not even once. Humans, no matter how strong, were still ants in a dragon's eyes. Lu Fan knew chasing the dream of taming a giant dragon was like chasing clouds, pretty, but pointless. He glanced at his system window. All his skills were locked. Why? Because he hadn't tamed a dragon yet. Classic catch, 22. He sighed, thinking about his aunt, Han Siyu. She'd worked herself to the bone to pay for his schooling, hoping he'd one day break free of poverty. And now? He couldn't even give her a better life. He couldn't even give himself a better skill tree. Lost in thought, Lu Fan suddenly found himself standing at the front door of their home, no memory of walking there. He blinked, shook the fog off, and forced a smile onto his face. "I'm home," he called out, voice cheerful. Or at least, trying to be. And then came Aunt Han Siyu. Now let me tell you, Han Siyu was a force of nature. The moment she saw Lu Fan, she launched at him like a missile made of love and flower dust, locking him in a tight hug. "You're back. Tell me everything. What profession did you awaken?" She beamed, eyes full of excitement. Lu Fan opened his mouth to answer, but before he could speak, she cut him off. "Hey, it's okay. Even if you didn't awaken a combat class, that's fine. Honestly, I'd prefer you weren't out there risking your life every day." Her words were warm, comforting, but they hit Lu Fan like a truck. "No, Auntie," he said, louder than he meant to. "I did awaken a combat class. I became a dragon tamer." He braced for disappointment. Instead, Han Siyu looked like she'd just won the lottery. "That's amazing. So what if you don't have a dragon yet? It just means you're strong enough to even be chosen by that profession." She pulled him into another hug. "You'll get into college, and I'll keep supporting you like always. And if you decide not to go, that's fine too. We'll run the steam bun shop together." Steam buns over dragons? Honestly, tempting. Lu Fan felt a lump in his throat. His eyes stung. He didn't deserve someone this kind, this selfless. "Don't cry, dummy. Dinner's getting cold," Han Siyu teased. Lu Fan finally looked at the table. She'd cooked a feast, way too much for one person. She must have spent hours preparing it, hoping to celebrate his awakening. He sat down, trying to enjoy it. But the guilt lingered. Later that night, Lu Fan lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling. His thoughts circled like vultures. Han Siyu was only 26, yet she'd been working tough, low-paying jobs for years. Her hands were covered in cuts and bruises. He remembered once, she'd hidden a burn from him so he wouldn't worry. "I want to change her life," he whispered. But how? Without a dragon, being a dragon tamer meant nothing. Frustrated, Lu Fan slammed his fists into the mattress. "If I just had a dragon, I could really do something." Then, ding! A notification from the system popped up, completely out of nowhere. "Congratulations! You've received your first day reward, Divine Level Treasure Map." Lu Fan blinked. Wait, what? He quickly remembered something important. His system wasn't just about dragon taming. It was called the Super Treasure Map System. At the ceremony, he'd only used the appraisal function. He hadn't even checked out the treasure map features. His hands trembled with excitement as he tapped the treasure map icon. What if this wasn't just some gimmick? What if this treasure map actually led him to a dragon? A map, a lie, and a stampede. The system finally explained itself. Turns out, the treasure maps were ranked beginner, intermediate, advanced, and divine. And here's the kicker? 3 low-tier maps could be fused into one higher-level map. Pretty neat, right? Lu Fan barely had time to process that when another notification popped up. "You'll receive 1 random treasure map each day, graded and located randomly. Reach the marked area to receive a reward tied to your profession." Wait, tied to his profession? Lu Fan's eyes widened. If that was true, this treasure hunt could actually lead him to a dragon. For the first time in days, hope sparked in his chest. Maybe, just maybe, this super treasure map system wasn't some gimmick. Maybe it was his golden ticket from being the weakest to standing at the top. He clicked on the divine level treasure map. A glowing map burst open in front of him, highlighting one specific location, Mount Shiabas. Lu Fan knew the place. It wasn't too far from Jianghai City. If he caught the last suburban bus, he could be there by dawn. The next morning Han Siyu stretched, still in her nightdress, and flicked on the light. Her hair was a mess. She shuffled out and saw a note on the dining table. She glanced toward Lu Fan's room. Empty. Her heart sank as she read the letter. "Auntie, I've gone to Mount Shiabas. This might be my only shot to change my fate. Don't worry, I'll be back soon. She clutched the note tightly, eyes brimming with worry. Meanwhile, a bus rumbled through the misty mountain roads. Lu Fan sat alone, unaware that a group of shader-looking individuals was eyeing him from the back seats. But he wasn't thinking about them. He was thinking about his aunt, about the pain in her hands, about the life she deserved, and about the dragon that could change everything. He stepped off the bus at the barren outskirts of Mount Shiabas. The place looked deserted. No birds. No wind. Just eerie silence. Perfect setting for a horror movie, he thought. Then, bump! Someone knocked into his backpack. Lu Fan spun around. Two strangers stood there. A muscular man with a scar and a petite girl with fox-like eyes. They looked like the kind of people who robbed you before they asked your name. Lu Fan stepped back, hand on his weapon. Before he could react, a third figure, a grizzled old man with an eye patch, appeared behind him and grabbed his shoulder. You alone, kid? Want to team up? Lu Fan shrugged him off fast. No thanks. I work alone. He narrowed his eyes. These three weren't adventurers, they were dungeon robbers. And he was walking gold to them. The girl grinned, pulling out a knife. You sure? You might want to rethink that. The eye patch man leaned in. It's dangerous out here alone. You might not make it back. Lu Fan was sweating inside but didn't show it. He had to bluff. Hard. I'm a summoner, he lied. I can summon elemental creatures. I don't need help. The trio froze. For a moment, nobody said anything. Then the man chuckled. Oh? Well, that changes things. The girl winked and blew him a kiss. Hope we meet again, handsome. Lu Fan, momentarily flustered, 100% relieved. Yeah, sure, great. Let's never meet again, thanks. As they disappeared into the forest, he thought to himself, this wilderness is dangerous. But not as dangerous as getting stabbed in the back. The encounter rattled him. Without real power, he was nothing but easy prey. He opened his system map and picked up the pace. As Lu Fan ventured deeper into Mount Shiabas, he spotted something majestic and terrifying. A herd of power horn horses. Level 8 magical beasts. Graceful, massive, and very territorial. Lu Fan knew the drill, don't poke the horses. Don't get poked by the horses. He quietly veered off course, taking a long detour around them. The longer route made him anxious, but better anxious than trampled. Or so he thought. Soon, he found himself facing a group of giant horn antelopes. Stronger, faster, and known for their bad temper. He moved slowly, carefully, one step at a time. Squelch! A tiny frog underfoot screamed out its pain with a dramatic ribbit of betrayal. The antelopes snapped their heads toward him, eyes full of murder. Oh no! Next thing he knew, Lu Fan was running for his life. Through bushes, over roots, lungs burning. Spotting a flat rocky ledge, he dove. Thud! Dust exploded around him as the herd thundered past, narrowly missing him. Panting, he lay there, heart racing. I can't even handle an angry antelope, he clenched his fists. This is what being powerless feels like. But he wasn't done. Not yet. Because somewhere out there, on this mountain, was his first real treasure. And maybe, just maybe, his first real dragon. Lu Fan stood alone, staring at the spot where he nearly became roadkill under a pack of angry antelopes. Catching his breath, he whispered to himself, if I miss this opportunity today, my fate might end up like that poor frog, and just then, ding. System notification, you've arrived at your designated treasure map location. Lu Fan's eyes locked onto two massive rocks ahead. A faint red glow flickered between them, just like on the map. Behind those rocks was a narrow cave. Inside? A pitch-black egg, pulsing softly, cracking slowly. No way. A dragon egg? Before he could even react, his system confirmed it. Unidentified black dragon egg, level unknown. Lu Fan's heart thudded. This was it. This was the moment. If he could tame this dragon, he'd go from bottom feeder to apex predator overnight. But before the excitement could settle, a rustle in the grass snapped him back to reality. Lu Fan turned, cleaver in hand. From the shadows emerged a bloodthirsty grey fox, its red eyes glowing with primal rage. It snarled and leapt, fangs wide, catching his cleaver in its canines with a metallic clang. The fox lunged again. Lu Fan twisted, flinging it to the ground. Panting, he activated his appraisal skill. Bloodthirsty grey fox, special skills, triple claw strike, Bloodthirst Recovery Triple Claw Strike? And it heals by draining blood? Great. Just great. He glanced back at the dragon egg. The cracks were widening. If I can just stall the fox until it hatches. But the fox wasn't waiting. It darted forward, fast as lightning. Lu Fan raised his arm, slash. Pain exploded as the claws tore into his forearm. He gritted his teeth. He couldn't let it recover. Not now. The fox lashed out again, strike 1. Lu Fan braced. Strike 2, blocked by his cleaver. Strike 3, he barely dodged, rolling aside just in time. Now! With every ounce of strength, Lu Fan swung his cleaver down, crack. The blade slammed into the fox's skull. Blood sprayed. The creature collapsed with a twitch. System notification, you have defeated a bloodthirsty grey fox. Plus 120 EXP. Lu Fan staggered backward, covered in blood, heart racing. But just as he caught his breath, 3 shadows appeared behind him. Slow clapping echoed. Nice work, Dragon Boy. Lu Fan turned, of course. It was them. The dungeon robbers. The girl smirked. The muscular guy cracked his knuckles. And the eye patch man looked far too amused. Lu Fan immediately took a defensive stance. Don't get any ideas. I'm not joining your gang. The girl giggled. Relax. No need to be so nervous, she leaned in with a smirk. We know you lied about being a summoner. Eye patch chimed in, grinning, a real summoner wouldn't get scratched up by a fox. You're not fooling anyone, kid. Lu Fan cursed silently. They'd figured it out. Still, he played it cool. He nudged the fox's corpse toward them with his boot. Take the fur and scram. I'm not in the mood. The eye patch man picked it up and chuckled. Worth maybe 80 dragon coins. Nice try. He locked eyes with Lu Fan. But we're not here for this. We're here for that. Lu Fan's stomach sank. He turned his head slightly. Sure enough, the muscular guy and the girl were staring at the dragon egg. They are after the divine treasure too. Before he could react, the muscular thug charged. Boom! The punch landed square in Lu Fan's chest. His cleaver flew from his hand as he crashed to the ground, gasping. Dazed and dizzy, he opened his eyes to find the girl on top of him, knife pressed against his throat. Don't move, or you'll bleed. The eye patch man crouched beside him, smug. You underestimated a dungeon robber's nose for treasure. Then the muscular guy called out from the cave. Hey, boss! You won't believe what I found. He stood over the cracking dragon egg, his shadow looming ominously over the treasure that could have changed everything for Lu Fan. Lu Fan's worst fear had come true, his enemies had reached the dragon egg first. And now, lying on the ground with a knife to his throat, it seemed like the end. Finish him off, the eye patch man barked. The girl leaned in, blade glinting. You handsome. But it's time to say goodbye. But Lu Fan wasn't going down like this. Behind them, the dragon egg cracked wide open, and in a burst of light, something shot into the sky like a meteor. Everyone froze. Above them hovered a massive black silhouette, wings outstretched, eyes burning like twin furnaces. A dragon. A real, full-grown dragon. Panic struck the robbers instantly. The eye patch guy hurled a potion into the air. The dragon dodged it like it was swatting a fly. The muscular thug roared and tried to punch the creature. Bad move. Whoosh! The dragon opened its jaws, unleashing a searing blast of energy that incinerated him mid-air. Ashes! The eye patch man was paralyzed with fear, watching his buddy's crispy remains fall to the ground. The dragon turned its gaze on him. No. Please? Too late. Even the girl was trembling now. The knife dropped from her hand. Lu Fan didn't waste the chance. With one powerful shove, he knocked her aside and got back to his feet. You guys really picked the wrong target, he growled. He sprinted toward the dragon. It hovered in place, unsure of whether to fry him or not. Lu Fan raised his hands. Dragon taming technique. A golden light radiated from his palms. Even the dragon flinched, confused. Then, he touched it. System notification, Black Dragon Covenant tamed by Lu Fan. New skills unlocked, Dragon Claw, Dragon Fong Strike, Dragon Inspiration. The girl stumbled backward. What? Who are you? Lu Fan turned, finally smirking. I'm not just a summoner. I'm a dragon tamer. The dragon growled and leapt toward her. She panicked, tripping over herself. I didn't know it was a dragon egg. I swear. I'm sorry. But Lu Fan's voice was cold. You schemed against innocent people. You can join your friends. He pointed. Finish her. Boom. The dragon obeyed. The dust cleared. Lu Fan sat alone on a cliff's edge, wrapping a bandage around his torn arm. Beside him, the dragon rummaged through his bag like a curious puppy. He lifted the creature with both arms, laughing in disbelief. You're way too lively. If you'd re this strong now. Imagine when you level up. He hugged it tightly. Maybe being a dragon tamer isn't such a weak class after all. But something was off. The dragon stared at his wound, then gently licked it. A soft red aura surrounded its body. Then, whoosh! Wings spread. Magic swirled. And right before his eyes, the dragon transformed. Standing there was a stunning girl, with elegant black wings, a long sleek tail, and eyes that sparkled like obsidian fire. Lu Fan blinked. Wait. What? Yup. Plot twist. His dragon just turned into a girl. All hail the waifu tamer. Lu Fan was speechless. His newly hatched companion, now a human-like girl, stood before him, tilting her head like a confused puppy. She didn't speak human language yet. Just nodded at everything he said. This is adorable, and kind of terrifying. While she fluttered around like an over-caffeinated child, Lu Fan opened his system to check his newly unlocked powers. Dragon taming lets him form bonds with dragon-type beasts. Dragon Claw transforms his arm into a massive claw whose strength depends on his current dragon. Dragon Fong Strike channels dragon energy for a devastating blow. Dragon Inspiration boosts both his and his dragon's attack and attributes by 30%. No wonder I'm crushing the power charts now, he muttered. Then, curiosity took over. He tapped on his dragon's profile. And boom, her stats popped up. Lu Fan couldn't believe his eyes. He stared at the dragon girl, his dragon girl, while her ridiculously overpowered stats glowed on the interface like cheat codes. Strength, 342 agility, 267 spirit, 359 endurance, 373 at level 1. Talk about broken, but it didn't stop there. Her skill set was even more outrageous. Mighty Jaw Assault, she lunges forward, bites hard, and causes continuous bleeding. Lava Flame spews fire non-stop while healing herself. That's right. Damage and sustain. Black Dragon Heritage reduces all incoming damage by 50%, immunity to all debuffs, and boosts self-healing by 500%. Bloodline Connection grants 10% of her attributes directly to Lu Fan. That means he just got stronger too. Lu Fan blinked. Is this a newborn or a final boss? He checked again. Yep. It was real. The Bloodline Connection not only gave him a 10% bonus from her, but apparently doubled his own base stats. That explained why he suddenly felt like he could dropkick a mountain. No wonder I feel like I could take on a whole army. This is the true power of one of the 3 strongest hidden professions. All those haters calling Dragon Tamer the weakest class? Joke's on them. They haven't seen this dragon. And right at that moment, he saw her chewing on her own eggshell. Still got that baby brain, huh? Even though she had a human form, she was clearly still just a newborn dragon. Curious, innocent, and hungry. Lu Fan realized there was still one big thing left. I need to give you a name. He paused, watching the first light of dawn stretch across the sky. A little black dragon, born just before sunrise. Shia, he said softly. Your name is Shia. The dragon girl paused mid-bite, looked up at him, and smiled. Wide, bright, and innocent. Like she was thrilled to finally be someone. Lu Fan's heart melted. He patted her head, grinning. Glad you like it. All right, Shia, you hungry? She nodded, finishing off the last piece of shell like a crunchy snack. Let's go hunt some monsters then. Can't go home on an empty stomach. Lu Fan stood up, tightening the straps on his bag. His mind flashed to the upcoming university entrance trial, his shot at the Southern Province's top scholar title, and a seat in the Dragon Kingdom's most elite institution. But he knew one thing, he wasn't ready yet. We need to level up. Fast. He turned to Shia, who fluttered up beside him. With a mischievous grin. Next stop, Mount Shia Basin. Word is, the monsters there taste better than eggshells. They barely made it 10 steps before a loud noise echoed through the forest. Rustling. Thudding. Growling. Lu Fan snapped his fingers, pulling up the interface. Detected, Plains Hyena's nasty creatures. Real troublemakers. They came with 2 dangerous attacks: rending bite, causes ongoing bleeding. Putrefaction applies a disease debuff, weakening both defense and healing. But if you beat them? Loot drop, canine teeth, 95 dragon coins each. Lu Fan gulped. These guys are definitely tougher than that bloodthirsty grey fox from before, and I barely walked away from that fight. Just as he considered backing off, he looked up and froze. Wait, where's Xia? Already airborne. The dragon girl was in full flight, eyes glowing, wings spread wide, and wearing a grin that screamed, "I call dibs on the snacks." Lu Fan sighed. Yep, definitely still a newborn. But one thing was clear, this duo was no longer prey. They were the predators now. Lu Fan could tell Xia wanted to lead this fight. He smiled, stepping back as she soared into the sky. With flames building in her belly and hyenas roaring below, one thing was certain: Mount Shiabas holds no danger, not for the strongest dragon tamer and his dragon. The hyenas didn't stand a chance. High above, Xia's form glowed with molten energy. Then, lava flame exploded from her mouth, blanketing the field in searing fire. The beast screeched and collapsed, dropping loot and XP like burnt pinatas. Ding! Lu Fan reached level 11. Ding! Xia hit level 3. With a grin, Lu Fan told her, "All right, no more time on these small fries. Let's go find the real threat." Their eyes turned to a shadowy cave nestled in the mountainside. That's when he felt it, killing intent. From within the darkness, 3 glowing eyes stared them down. No, not 3 eyes, 3 sets. The beast stepped forward, massive, fur blazing with crimson streaks. The 3-headed blood lion. Level 25. Each head snarled independently, dripping with menace. This elite monster wasn't just for show. It had roar, buffs its own defense and attack. Trample, a massive area damage. Triple flame, 3 waves of fire-based AoE that melt anything dumb enough to stand still. Defeating it meant 23,790 EXP, and rare drops like Blood Lion's Tooth and Blood Lion Skin. Normally, it'd take a whole party of elite hunters to even attempt this. But Lu Fan wasn't normal anymore. "I've got Xia. That's more than enough." He gave the order. Xia let out a low growl of approval. The battle began. The Blood Lion central head howled, casting roar, boosting its power, then started charging triple flame, a slow but deadly cast. Lu Fan narrowed his eyes. That charge time, we can interrupt it. He turned to Xia. "Let's coordinate. Take the heads, I'll follow through." In an instant, Xia's body ignited, flames spiraling around her as she reverted to her dragon form. She shot forward like a bullet from a cannon. Mighty Jaw Assault! She bit into the central head, then clamped her claws around the other 2, pinning them down. System notification, triple flame successfully interrupted. Lu Fan charged in, cleaver glowing with energy. Time to end this. He leapt and shouted, "Dragon Fang Strike!" A blast of dragon aura surged through his weapon, landing squarely into the beast's chest. The lion staggered, then crashed. Down, defeated. Xia landed beside him, shifting back into her human form, panting but smiling. Lu Fan hit level 14. Xia jumped to level 9. Before they could even rest, a new system notification flashed, treasure map system activated. A new map has been sent to your inventory. Lu Fan raised an eyebrow, a sly grin forming. An exclusive dragon tamer treasure, huh? This day just keeps getting better. He turned to Xia. Ready for some treasure hunting? She nodded eagerly, clearly still buzzing from the fight. Scene shift, deeper in Mount Shiabas, 3 figures stood near a jagged rock formation. A blue-haired girl looked impatiently at the cave in front of them. Are we really going to let this opportunity slip by? Her uncle, a burly warrior named Sunu, crossed his arms and shook his head. The fortuitous realm needs 5 people to open. We don't have enough. He suggested sending Miss Kai, their rogue companion, back to Shanghai City to recruit more. But Kai shook her head. Even if I sprint at top speed, the trip's a full day. The realm will vanish before I'm back. That's when we learn the girl's name, Qin Shio. Her class remains a mystery, but she's clearly no ordinary rookie. She spoke calmly but firmly. Fortuitous realms appear randomly, and the loot is better than any regular dungeon. If we miss this, we won't get another shot. Sunu tried to cheer her up. You're top university material, Qin Shio. You'll have your pick of secret realms. But she wasn't convinced. Her eyes lingered on the glowing runes of the cave entrance, opportunity slipping through her fingers. Back on the mountainside, Lu Fan and Xia had no idea their paths were about to cross. Qin Xiao was inches from losing her chance at greatness. The fortuitous realm was right there and still missing one member. Suddenly, rustling. Sunu and Miss Kai spun around, weapons raised, ready for a fight. But it wasn't a monster. It was Lu Fan, casually strolling by like he was out for a picnic. Sunu blinked. A kid? Out here? He warned Lu Fan, this mountain isn't for casual hikers. You should head BA. Before he could finish, Qin Xiao stepped in. With practiced poise, she introduced herself as part of the Qin family of Jianghai City, the wealthiest clan in the region. And then, out of nowhere, she made an offer, join us in the secret realm of chance. You don't even have to lift a finger, just be the 5th member. We'll pay you 100,000 dragon coins. Lu Fan paused mid-step. If the Qin family is willing to pay that much, the treasure inside must be insane. Qin Xiao explained further. They'd already found a paladin as the 4th member but were still one short. Time was ticking. If they didn't get 5 people soon, the realm would disappear. Sunu, already walking toward the glowing purplish portal, waved Lu Fan over. Hurry up if you want to get paid. These kinds of opportunities don't wait. But Lu Fan wasn't easily bought. He smiled and replied, I'm not interested in money. I'll join if we split the rewards based on contribution. Dead silence. Miss Kai blinked. Wait, you want us to divide the loot by strength? Lu Fan nodded. Exactly. Qin Xiao tilted her head, eyeing him with a puzzled look. This guy looks weaker than any of us. Is he confident, or just delusional? But they were desperate. She extended her hand with a smile. Fine. We'll go with your plan. And the 100,000 dragon coins are still yours, out of sincerity. Lu Fan shook her hand, sealing the deal. Internally, he made a decision, he wouldn't summon Shurao Yi yet. Revealing a legendary dragon in front of strangers? That was a recipe for jealousy, or worse. Better to wait until we have the loot. Then I'll let them see what real power looks like. Inside the secret realm of chance, the group stepped into the portal and emerged into a haunting wasteland. Dead trees. A choking purple fog. And silence so heavy, you could hear your heartbeat. System notification, entered, Morning Village, level 20 fortuitous realm. Difficulty, solid. Group entry, 5 minimum, required. Qin Xiao whispered, it's so quiet. I can only hear us. Miss Kai analyzed the air. No wind. No animals. Even the fog's too still. Something's wrong here. Sunu, glancing sideways at Lu Fan, frowned. He doesn't even have a weapon. Is he planning to punch monsters to death? But Lu Fan just smiled. He raised his hand. Whoosh! Flames coiled around his arm as a massive black machete appeared in his grip. Its blade shimmered with dragon scales, glowing with an ominous red hue. System notification, equipped, dragon scale cleaver, epic quality weapon, no level requirement. Exclusive to dragon tamers, dragon blood warriors. Skill, dragon blood armor, partially transforms user into a dragon. Boosts all dragon-related skills. Plus 65 strength, plus 30 stamina. Everyone froze. Miss Kai took a cautious step back. Qin Xiao's eyes widened. Sunu muttered, an epic weapon? At his level. Lu Fan smirked inwardly, thanking the advanced treasure map triggered by the Blood Lion. That fight had been tough, but it paid off. Now let's see how much you all underestimate me after this dungeon. Lu Fan's flashy weapon had left everyone stunned, especially Sun Go, who blurted out, wait, are you sure you're just a material hunter? You look like a transfer student from some elite academy. Miss Kai rolled her eyes. Why do you even care? If he tries anything sketchy, I'll personally turn him into zombie chow. But before the bickering could escalate, wham! A hand burst from the dirt, grabbing Sun Go's ankle. He jumped back, startled. From beneath the ground, rotting corpses began clawing their way up, corrupt zombies, level 15 monsters with terrifying skills, hug and bite, they grapple and claw while sinking their teeth in. Corpse poison, every attack poisons the victim, slowly draining HP. Zombie conversion, anyone who dies from the poison turns into one of them. Each kill gave 620 EXP, a corruption poison sack, and 256 dragon coins. Nice loot, but the cost could be fatal. Qin Xiao shouted a warning to Sun Go as more zombies erupted around them. But the paladin Jigu wasn't about to let anyone fall. Shield raised, he leapt forward like a tank on wheels, absorbing the initial wave. Status check, Jigu, level 20 knight, profession, fighter role, wall with a pulse. Miss Kai and Sun Go quickly fell back to support. Nice block, Jigu! Sun Go shouted, charging in next. Sun Go, level 28 warrior, began slicing through zombies with massive swings, while Miss Kai, level 23 rogue, danced through the chaos, blades flashing. Meanwhile, Lu Fan remained calm. His system interface flickered in his vision, revealing everyone's battle stats and actions in real time. Knight in front, warrior and rogue flank, good formation. Sun Go's close to a profession change. They're more capable than I thought. Suddenly, Qin Xiao stepped forward. Her staff glowed, and a golden aura enveloped her. She rose slightly off the ground, eyes closed in concentration. Oh, we're charging up the big gun, Lu Fan thought. Then, boom! She cast Holy Light Star Rain. Brilliant star-like energy rained down, exploding on impact, wiping out zombies by the dozens. At the same time, her allies glowed as their wounds healed. Sun Go and Miss Kai had to dive out of the blast zone just to avoid getting roasted by friendly fire. The zombies were annihilated. Qin Xiao turned to Lu Fan with a proud smile. That's my profession. System notification, revealed, hidden class, Holy Light Mage balance dual role. Moderate healing plus area damage. Lu Fan raised an eyebrow. A hidden profession again? And it's a hybrid. He complimented her on the holy damage, particularly brutal against the undead. But the celebration didn't last long. Rumble. The ground shook. Hard. From beneath the soil, a blood-red hand erupted, clawing at the air. System alert. Blood zombies, level 20 elite monsters rewards, 8, 140 EXP, blood corpse poison sac, 90 dragon coin skills, blood sucking bite, heals itself while damaging the victim. Corpse poison, as before, inflicts continuous poison damage. Blood fury, temporarily boosts strength and agility by 40%. The monsters that emerged were bulkier, faster, and clearly out for blood. Their glowing eyes locked on the team. They're not just here to fight. They're here to wipe us out. Sun Go took command instantly. Miss Kai. Protect Qin Xiao and Lu Fan. As the team regrouped for the coming onslaught, Lu Fan knew one thing for sure: if we don't pull out everything we've got, we're not walking out of this realm. Jigu, with me. Sunu's voice cut through the chaos. They couldn't let the zombie horde break their front line. Both he and Jigu charged forward, weapons blazing with energy. Sunu slashed with a powerful full moon slash, severing a zombie's arm clean off. Jigu aimed straight for the heart, driving his sword deep into the creature's chest. For a moment, it looked like they'd done real damage. But then, the zombies grinned. Not in pain. In delight. Jigu tried to pull his blade back, but the zombie wasn't letting go. Its chest began absorbing the sword, like it was devouring metal. Before they could react, a sinister laugh echoed through the mist. The zombies began growing larger, and corpse poison leaked from their mouths. System alert, corpse poison activated, drains party HP and heals zombies per second. Qin Xiao's eyes widened. This isn't normal. I can't cleanse this. We need a priest's clarity skill to dispel corpse poison. Jigu groaned as the poison spread up his arm. His HP bar dropped rapidly. Help me. I can't break free. Let go of your sword, Jigu. Sunu yelled. Now! Jigu released his grip just in time. Sunu yanked him back, barely avoiding the zombie's next strike. Miss Kai, cover us! But Miss Kai was already overwhelmed, fending off two zombies that lunged at her with clawed fingers glowing green. The situation was spiraling out of control. Then, amid the madness, a voice broke through like a calm breeze through fire. Hey, Sak, chill. Don't trouble Miss Kai. Everyone turned. There stood Lu Fan. One eye glowing a crimson red, his legendary machete glowing with golden fire in his hand. He wasn't scared. He wasn't flustered. He looked like he was about to take the entire undead army head-on by himself. Sunu panicked. Get out of there! Those are red blood zombies. But Lu Fan didn't flinch. He lunged. Slash! His machete cut clean across the zombie's throat, severing it with surgical precision. The creature collapsed, dead before it even realized what hit it. The team was stunned. Sun Go stared, jaw on the floor. Did that newbie just one-shot a red blood zombie? Lu Fan casually handed Jigu his sword back. Don't back down. Keep moving forward, he said with a smile that screamed confidence. Sunu blinked. Okay, seriously, what's your level? Lu Fan's eye still glowed faintly. I'm just a normal level 14 student. No one believed that. Jigu, barely conscious, was quickly tended to by Qin Shio, who worked to stop the poison spread. As she healed him, she overheard Lu Fan talking about coming to Mount Shia Basin for practice before the big exam. Her mind raced. Level 14? That's my age group, but how does he hit harder than Sunu, who's level 28? Before she could get an answer, a zombie lunged at her from behind, grinning with poison-dripping teeth. Qin Shio, move! Miss Kai shouted. But she didn't have to. Lu Fan was faster. He dashed in, pinned the zombie to the wall, and took it out with a single precise swing of his machete. He turned to the group. These things are going to keep evolving. We need to end this quickly. I'll take the front. Everyone else, hold your positions. Sunu hesitated. But Qin Shio remembered something. Rumors. Whispers back in Jianghai City. A hidden class. A powerful young tamer with dragon blood. Could it be Lu Fan, she wondered. She smiled. We'll count on you then. With Lu Fan taking point and Sun Go covering him, Qin Shio could finally focus on healing, while Miss Kai secured the rear. Lu Fan introduced himself. The moment they heard the name, the group's suspicions clicked into place. He was the rumored dragon tamer. But even now, Qin Shio still couldn't figure out one thing: how can the weakest class in the system be the strongest person in this realm? Fast forward, the team pushed forward, carving through wave after wave of blood zombies, finally reaching the village center, a place where the ground pulsed like it was alive, and even the shadows whispered warnings. Lu Fan stepped forward, glowing aura blazing, machete ready, and the real battle was just beginning. Lu Fan stood still, his eyes narrowed as the eerie silence around them deepened. The corpse poison was worsening, and Qin Shio's healing spells couldn't stop it. The teleportation gate wouldn't open until they took down the secret realm guardian, but time was running dangerously thin. Jigu's condition was critical. If they didn't hurry, he'd die. And come back, as a zombie. Miss Kai voiced what everyone was thinking. Where is this secret realm guardian anyway? As if summoned by her words, Jigu, barely conscious, spotted a threat. Behind you! Sunu! Then he collapsed. Before Qin Shio could even stabilize him, a red beam of light burst from a mound of debris. From within the rubble, it emerged. A monstrous iron-skinned zombie. Multiple heads. One glowing crimson eye. And charging like a freight train. Boss identified, iron-skinned zombie, Gel V. 20 EXP, 13, 720 dragon coins, 40. It wasn't just a brute. This thing had corpse poison assimilation, meaning it could absorb infected targets to regenerate. Worse, steel skin boosted its defense by 40%. Miss Kai gasped. This is it. The Guardian. Lu Fan quickly put the pieces together. Xiao's worsening condition must have attracted it. We have to take it out before it absorbs Jigu, he shouted. Sunu didn't hesitate. He activated Moonlight Slash and launched forward, but the attack bounced off. Not even a scratch. Luan followed up with his dragon aura ignited, jamming his black machete into the zombie's glowing eye. Still nothing. The steel skin was turning it into a walking tank. Lu Fan quickly opened his status window. There it was, Dragon Blood Armor. A high-tier transformation skill that could partially awaken his dragon lineage. Meanwhile, the boss had locked onto Jigu. It moved in fast, ready to assimilate. Qin Shio! Lu Fan yelled. Coordinate holy spells with me. Qin Shio raised her staff and began chanting. Lu Fan's arm started transforming, scales forming, claws sharpening. Sunu, protect Jigu. Miss Kai, support. With fire pulsing through his veins, Lu Fan's right arm completed its transformation, a gleaming, scaled dragon claw crackling with energy. Together, he and Qin Shio launched their combo attack. She unleashed Holy Starlight Rain, raining divine energy down as Lu Fan leapt into the air, going for the Crimson Eye. But just before impact, the unexpected happened. The iron-skinned zombie started to shed its metal armor. Its iron flesh cracked and fell away like rusted plates, revealing raw, faster moving muscle underneath. It's shedding its skin to move faster. Miss Kai shouted. Sunu's eyes widened. That explains everything. It fuses and absorbs to maintain its mass. But that armor, it's not the real body. Luan nodded. Which means, the original zombie somewhere inside all that bulk. And just then, it was revealed. The real zombie head, grotesque and rotten, appeared beneath the falling armor. Its glowing red eye throbbed like a beacon of death. Lu Fan. The eye. Qin Shio cried out. Without wasting a breath, Lu Fan sprinted forward, his dragon hand blazing with power. He soared through the air, eyes locked on the real core. Boom! He punched the crimson eye with all the fury of dragon fire. The creature shrieked, an inhuman screech that shook the ground. Its body ignited from within, flames bursting through its many heads. Ashes rained down. The Guardian was dead. Lu Fan landed softly, calmly reversing his transformation, and retrieved his machete like it was just another training session. Silence. Everyone stared, stunned. A freshman had just taken out a level 20 secret realm boss. Even Qin Shio, wide-eyed, whispered, that power. I've never seen anything like it. Not even from the top-ranked players. They didn't just survive. They witnessed a monster fall to a myth. As the dust settled and the remains of the iron-skinned zombie crumbled to ash, Qin Shio stared at Lu Fan with new eyes. Who exactly are you? She wasn't the only one wondering. But before she could ask further, something shimmered in the smoky air, a silver treasure chest, the iron-skinned zombie's reward box. Qin Shio let out a sigh and turned to Lu Fan. As promised, we'll divide the loot fairly. And I owe you an apology for underestimating you earlier. Sunu added, half joking. Honestly, Lu Fan could have soloed the entire realm. The rest of us were just background decoration. Lu Fan laughed lightly, brushing off the compliment. Thanks, Sunu. Qin Shio, you handle the distribution. You're the leader. Qin Shio nodded and opened the chest, but what they found inside left them all blinking. Strength potions. Several of them, but all normal quality, boosting strength by just 2 points each. Rare antidote potions, strong enough to cure corpse poison. And a single equipment drop, morning bracelet, excellent quality, level requirement, 10 plus 16 strength, plus 17 endurance. Miss Kai raised an eyebrow. This is it? For defeating the boss of the secret realm of chance? That's it, kinda lame. Even Sunu looked disappointed. You'd expect something more epic. This feels like dungeon leftovers. Lu Fan frowned, uneasy. Something felt off. Still, Qin Shio moved forward, asking Sunu to help Jagu drink an antidote potion. As Sunu helped the weakened warrior recover, she handed Lu Fan the morning bracelet. You earned this. And take a few potions too. Lu Fan accepted them with a quiet nod, impressed by the Qin family's sense of discipline and fairness. They're a proper team. I respect that. But even as everyone relaxed, Qin Shio's expression darkened. Where's the portal? We beat the Guardian, but there's no way out. Lu Fan had just slipped on his new bracelet when he froze. Something was coming. Before anyone could react, Miss Kai casually suggested, maybe the portal's elsewhere? We can scout. Wait. Don't move. Lu Fan barked, sharp as steel. He was staring at his system window. We haven't cleared the realm yet. The system says we're still in danger. Sunu blinked. How can there still be a boss left? We wiped everything. But Qin Shio interrupted, her voice uneasy. I can feel something. A presence. It's heavy, cold, wrong. The group turned to her. A holy light mage sensing darkness? Not a good sign. They followed the feeling, moving cautiously toward the lakeside of Morning Village. The further they went, the creepier it got. The place was cloaked in fog and decay, the lake itself reeking like a sore from hell. Maybe we missed this spot earlier, Sunu muttered, already regretting it. As they neared the water, a shadow shifted beneath the surface. Something massive. Something alive. A huge, tentacled monster rose slowly from the depths, its body covered in pulsing, grotesque eyes, each one glowing with a crimson pupil radiating pure rage. The water rippled with hatred. This thing was mad. Mad that they killed its minions. Suddenly, boom! Tentacles shot out from the ground, writhing with blinking eyeballs, lashing at the group. They barely dodged in time. Miss Kai screamed, "What is that thing?" Lu Fan opened his system to scan it. Nothing. Level, unknown name, unknown. Even the status window didn't recognize the creature. This wasn't a normal boss. This was something else. Something ancient and hungry. Turns out, Lu Fan was right all along. This wasn't over, not by a long shot. As the monstrous tentacles lashed wildly, Sunu barely managed to dodge them. Okay, yep, that thing's definitely the real final boss. He stepped forward, crimson sword in hand, trying to shield the others. But the tentacle monster didn't care. One swipe sent Sunu flying like a ragdoll, crashing into the dirt with a painful grunt. Their strongest warrior? Down. That was a bad sign. Before anyone could react, the tentacles changed course, aiming straight for Qin Shio. Frozen in shock, she couldn't move. It's too fast. Boom. Like a thunderbolt, Lu Fan appeared out of nowhere, grabbing her just before the tentacles could crush her. He held her tight as they both tumbled to the ground. Qin Shio blushed. He actually saved me again? No time for romance. Another wave of tentacles slammed them both to the side. The group regrouped, checking on Qin Shio. Miss Kai rushed over. Are you okay? Meanwhile, Lu Fan, ever the MVP, was already back on his feet. But then, the air shifted. From the river's surface, a dark purple aura began to rise. The water bubbled, and every instinct in their bodies screamed, run. Too late. Out from the depths emerged a colossal abomination, its body wrapped in grotesque tentacles. But at the center stood a woman, long hair flowing, hands shackled by ancient iron chains. Her face twisted in anger and sorrow. The grieving specter. Level 25 boss. Strength, 27 agility, 183 spirit, 50 stamina, 266 her passive aura. Brutal. Corpse aura reduces all attributes of living beings in the realm by 20% just by existing. Her active skills? Worse, chain whip, massive burst damage. Resentment explosion, blasts enemies back and infects them with corpse poison. Miss Kai stood frozen. That's the real boss. Behind her, Jigu groaned, finally regaining consciousness and trying to stand. Let me fight. But Sun Go stopped him. No. You just recovered. I'll protect you. Let us handle this. Jigu protested, but Sun Go held firm. You've done enough. Don't push yourself now. Meanwhile, no one noticed the tentacles curling above Sunu's head until the last second. He glanced up and barely blocked with his sword. Too close, but the battle wasn't waiting. Lu Fan, seeing the others barely hanging on, knew it was time to go all in. He gripped his legendary black machete and locked eyes with the boss. If she's a zombie, there has to be a core. A true body, then he saw it. The real body of the grieving spectre, hidden in the mass of tentacles, still partially human. That was the key. With a mighty leap, Lu Fan charged. The boss shrieked, her mouth opening in a grotesque distortion, unleashing a corpse Kai envelopment. The debuff hit everyone hard, dropping their stats across the board. Still, Lu Fan pushed forward. Tentacles lunged at him like spears, but he was too fast, dodging, weaving, climbing one of the iron chains wrapped around her. Even the boss seemed stunned by his boldness. Lu Fan, watch out for the shackles. Qin Shio shouted. Too late. The boss snapped one of the submerged chains like a whip, chain lash. It smashed into Lu Fan, throwing him off balance. He began to fall, but he refused to let go. Gripping his machete, he used the chain to swing back into action. Now the boss was angry. Really angry. Tentacles flew everywhere. Chains lashed like lightning. Miss Kai and Jigu tried to block them, but Jiaji's shield shattered under the sheer force of a single hit. The team was breaking. Still, Lu Fan was climbing. Still fighting. Still going. If I can reach her, I can end this. As Lu Fan charges toward the specter's true body, he suddenly notices a tentacle sweeping toward Sun Go and the others. It's fast. Too fast. The monster sneers, keep resisting, and your whole group dies. Lu Fan's fury explodes. Everyone, get out of the way. His body surges with dragon energy as he activates Dragon Strike once again. His blade glows with golden fire, slicing through the tentacle with one powerful arc. The boss lets out a monstrous shriek, wounded, but far from finished. Suddenly, chains whip toward the team, striking with relentless fury. They lash out like lightning, forcing everyone to scatter. Realizing brute strength isn't enough, Lu Fan takes it up a notch. Time to stop holding back. Dragon blood transformation activated. His right hand morphs into a gleaming dragon claw, thick with scales and raw power. With a roar, Lu Fan shatters the chains attacking the team, sending the broken links flying like shrapnel. He lands with a thud, the battlefield trembling beneath his feet. Sunu watches, stunned. This boss, she's too strong. We can't win like this. We need a plan. Even Qin Xiao is worried. Lu Fan, we're in no shape to keep fighting. If we don't leave now, we won't survive. But the grieving spectre is far from finished. She glares at Lu Fan, chains twitching like angry snakes. Lu Fan doesn't flinch. You all need to retreat. Head to the village, we've cleared out the zombies there. He turns to Sunu and Miss Kai, assigning them the task of protecting the group. Qin Xiao steps forward, visibly conflicted. You're staying here? Alone? Lu Fan just offers a half grin. Don't worry, I'll handle her. I always do. Miss Kai nods. It's the only way. Qin Xiao, come with us. Still hesitating, Qin Xiao looks back at Lu Fan. But she knows there's no changing his mind. Then Lu Fan raises his clawed hand high and the sky ignites in flames. A flaming aura engulfs the battlefield, swirling like a vortex. The team watches in awe. Lu Fan isn't just powering up, he's opening a portal. Even without her debuff, we're still outmatched. So I'm calling someone who's not. From the portal, a shadow emerges, massive, winged, and lethal. Xia, come join me for some fun. Boom! Out bursts Xia, Lu Fan's legendary black dragon. Her wings whip up a storm as she slams into the battlefield with a deafening roar. The team? Absolutely. Speechless. Wait, he had a dragon this whole time. And not just any dragon, she is even bigger and more terrifying than when we first saw her. Without wasting a second, she lunges forward, grabbing the boss's tentacles in her razor-sharp jaws and tearing through them like paper. Lu Fan didn't want to reveal Xia to the team just yet, but desperate times, right? The grieving spectre tries to retaliate, lashing more tentacles, but Xia flares her wings and bats them aside like gnats. Then she leaps forward, claws flashing, and rips through the boss's defenses. Blood splatters. Tentacles snap. The boss screams, her body starting to leak cursed black blood. She is not done yet. She lets out a thunderous roar and charges again, activating her giant assault skill. With terrifying speed, she slams into the boss, biting deep and inflicting continuous bleeding damage. Every bite weakens the boss further. The spectre flails, her attacks becoming wild, desperate. But it's too late now. Because Xia is just getting started. With a mighty roar, Xia tears through the last of the chains, launching the spectre boss backward into the watery abyss she crawled out of. The lake goes silent. Ripples fade. For a moment, it's over. The secret boss of the realm of chance has been defeated, or so it seems. Sunu's mouth hangs open, eyes wide. 2 hits. He took her down in just 2 hits. Even Jaga looks like he's seen a ghost. So that's the power of a dragon. No way. The team is caught between fear and awe. All their lives, dragons were stories, omens of destruction, death in the sky. But Lu Fan just summoned one like it was his pet dog. Qin Xiao begins piecing it all together. Wait, the rumors about a dragon tamer in Zhanghai City. That's him. Lu Fan, the so-called worthless dragon tamer. Yeah, worthless? Doesn't look like it now. Lu Fan kneels beside Xia, giving her a gentle pat. Great job, girl. Her massive eyes blink slowly, content. Suddenly, the world flickers. The screen transitions, 3 centuries into the past. We enter the tragic origin of the grieving spectre. She was born in a serene, quiet city protected by the church. Life was peaceful until the plague struck. Her grandfather died first. Then the lake, once a place of laughter, turned into a graveyard. Corpses floated ashore faster than they could be buried. Desperate, she turned to the dark arts, not to destroy, but to heal. She wanted to save her people. Instead, she was branded a dark witch. Her magic let the living say goodbye to the dead. But she couldn't stop death itself. The church twisted her kindness into a crime. 2 knights came with chains. You're to be judged, they said. Confused and betrayed, she cried out, "Why are you punishing me? I just wanted to help." The knights bound her and threw her into the lake. As she sank, her last thoughts were of betrayal and pain. Back to the present, Lu Fan stares into the lake, the water once again calm. Sunu steps forward. We can finally leave, right? The bosses did. But Lu Fan doesn't move. His eyes narrow. No, it's too soon. Bubbles begin to rise. Lots of them. Before anyone can react, a violent eruption breaks the surface, and the boss's silhouette bursts into the sky like a cannonball. Lu Fan and Xia whip their heads upward, startled. The boss hovers above, arms outstretched, surrounded by a swirling aura of water and rage. Sun. Ghost Blade is out in an instant. The team falls back into formation, eyes wide with dread. Xia growls, wings extended to shield the team. Then, a colossal form rises from the lake. A woman made entirely of roaring water, her eyes glowing with red vengeance. A status window flashes before them, Grieving Spectre Boss, Phase 2 Level, 25, Nightmarish Difficulty, Strength, 286 Agility, 249 Spirit, 435 Endurance, 399 New Abilities. Lamentation Impact releases a curse that can instantly kill. If it fails, it still deals massive damage and may inflict poison, bleed, or stun. Deep Aquatic Pressure manipulates lake water to form prisons, trapping players. Body of Resentments nullifies all physical damage. Will of Resentment awakens all corpses within the secret realm. Sunu gulps. Her stats just went through the roof. He grips his sword tighter. Jaga and Qin Shio look shaken, taking cautious steps backward. Miss Kai's dagger trembles in her hand. She's entering her next phase. The real fight has only just begun. Lu Fan's dragon blood pulses. Round 2 starts now. The Grieving Spectre Boss raises her arms high, the sky darkening as her fury boils over. Boom! She unleashes her deadly skill, Deep Aquatic Pressure. From her watery form, a massive water giant emerges, hurling titanic water orbs down at the party like divine punishment. Just as one is about to obliterate the team, Xiaoi spreads her wings wide, activating her immunity skill, Restriction. The water explodes on contact, but the team remains unharmed. A system window pops up in front of Lu Fan. Black Dragon Lineage skill activated. Incoming damage reduced by 50%. Immune to harmful effects. Self-healing increased by 500%. Okay, that's just unfair, mutters Jaga, half impressed, half terrified. One orb crashes down beside Miss Kai. She leaps away, but water slithers after her like a serpent, trapping her in a watery cage. Qin Shio gasps in horror. Miss Kai stabs at the water, but her dagger passes through without effect. Sun Go joins in, slashing with all his might. Nothing works. Physical attacks are useless. Qin Shio exclaims. She's using Body of Resentments. Miss Kai's strength fades. Water seeps into her lungs. She closes her eyes. I'm sorry, Shio? I messed up. But Qin Shio steps forward, tears welling up. No. I should be the one apologizing. I led us here. This is all my fault. She falls to her knees, clutching her staff helplessly. That's when Lu Fan speaks up. Calm. Firm. Are you really giving up now? After all we've been through. Another orb falls, this one for Sunu. Before he can dodge, he's sealed inside his own watery tomb. The team is cornered. Morale is crumbling. I'm the only mage, Qin Shio admits. And my magic isn't strong enough. Sunu, still trapped, grits his teeth. Guys. She's immune to physical damage. We're sitting ducks out here. He looks toward Lu Fan. Can you use magic? But before Lu Fan can reply, the boss unleashes Lamentation Impact. A deadly hand of water stretches toward him. Xiaoi moves like lightning, throwing a wing in front of him. She glares like, seriously? Again? A system notification pops up. Black Dragon Immunity triggered instant death, blocked corpse poison, blocked bleed and stun, blocked. Lu Fan casually slips his hands in his pockets, unfazed. Another alert, damage reduction, 50% status effect immunity, active self-recovery, plus 500%. Man's got cheat codes, Sun Go mutters inside his bubble. Sunu yells out, if you can't use magic, what can we do? Lu Fan grins. I can't. But my dragon can. Everyone's jaws drop. Miss Kai stares, blinking in disbelief. You're a dragon tamer. That word suddenly hits different. The once worthless title now sounds more like a god-tier rank. The boss tries another sneak attack. Bad move. Lu Fan clenches his fist, a fireball igniting in his palm. He locks eyes with the boss, his fiery aura rising. A dragon's power isn't something humans can comprehend, he says coolly. The water woman launches another lamentation impact. Xiaoyi tanks it. Again. Another system pop-up, all harmful effects nullified. And now? It's Lu Fan's turn. Xiaoyi, activate Dragon Inspiration. The ground trembles. Flames spiral around them. A system window flashes. Dragon Inspiration activated stat boosts. Strength, 968 1, 258 agility, 767 970 spirit, 959 1, 246 endurance, 976 1, 268 Miss Kai. What the hell kind of numbers are those? Xiaoyi, Lu Fan commands, pointing toward the boss, unleash your lava blaze. Xiaoyi roars. Her wings glow red-hot. Then, boom! She exhales a burning torrent, lava and fire swirling together, scorching the water boss. The flames eat away at her form. Slowly, her watery body starts to evaporate, the steam screaming into the air. Not only is lava blaze dealing continuous elemental damage, it's also healing Xiaoyi with every burn. Wait, her fire heals her too. That's cheating. Jaga cries. But Lu Fan simply watches, eyes glowing like embers. The tide of battle has finally shifted. And now? The dragon is just getting started. The sky burns in swirling flames as the boss's monstrous form finally begins to disintegrate, consumed by Xiaoyi's unrelenting fire. At the lake's edge, Qin Xiao stands frozen, mouth agape. Xiao joins her, both staring at the inferno like it's the end of the world, or the beginning of a new one. As Xiaoyi's flames intensify, the watery prisons that trapped Miss Kai and Sun Go begin to steam and evaporate. Miss Kai stumbles free, soaked and speechless. Sunul, his face grim, looks skyward. This power, it's catastrophic, he murmurs. Suddenly, boom! The boss begins to implode, her body unable to withstand the searing heat. In a final act of desperation, she triggers her ultimate skill, Will of Resentment. She's trying to resurrect the corpses in the realm. Qin Xiao yells. But it's too late. The colossal water woman crumbles into ash and steam, leaving behind only a purple haze as she vanishes completely. And in her place? A glowing portal hums into existence. Right beside a gleaming treasure chest. High above, Xiaoyi reverts to her human form, floating midair with a proud smirk. A system notification flashes, Black Dragon Realm level increased details, classified of course. Lu Fan chuckles, clapping his hands together. Nice work, Xia. Another alert dings, level up. +5 levels gained, not too shabby, he grins. Smoke fills the battlefield, the lingering remnants of a hard-won victory. Qin Xiao rushes over to Miss Kai, who coughs weakly but smiles. Sun Go points toward the portal. It's over, he announces. Go stands up, brushing ash from his shoulder. Everyone okay, he asks. But then, a noise. Shuffling. Groaning. Behind them. They turn. The village zombies, previously defeated, have risen again, brought back by the boss's Will of Resentment. Oh, come on, Sun Go groans. But before panic can spread, a familiar shadow soars overhead. Is that all the dragon? Sun Go asks, eyes wide. Xiaoyi, now in her true dragon form, dives toward the horde, her mouth glowing. She has got this, Lu Fan assures calmly. And she does. Lava blaze erupts once more. A burning storm sweeps across the zombies, reducing them to ashes within seconds. Zombies that gave us so much trouble, she's just melting them like butter, Qin Xiao whispers in awe. Lu Fan walks over, hands in his pockets, smirking. Yep, that's Xiaoyi, the black dragon. He turns to Sunul. No. Need to be tense. She's got everything under control. Then, he looks toward the treasure chest, rubbing his hands. Now, according to the rules. I pick first. He pauses, looking back with a smirk. Anyone got a problem with that? Qin Xiao shakes her head. No objections here. Lu Fan steps up, opens the chest, and it glows with heavenly light. Everyone gathers around, anticipation thick in the air. Inside, they find some serious loot. 1. Holy Light Staff, excellent quality, +32 spirit, +19 stamina level requirement, 10 ability, Holy Light Seal, binds a target with Holy Light. Duration scales with spirit stat. Perfect for our magic squad. Lu Fan nods at Qin Xiao. 2. Twilight Robe, excellent quality, +35 spirit, plus 15 stamina level requirement, 10 ability, light flow, generates a light barrier. Strength scales with spirit. Hey, defense matters too, right? Sun Go says, eyeing it hopefully. 3. Ring of Morning rare quality plus 57 spirit, plus 21 stamina, plus 12 strength level requirement, 15 ability, morning aura, marks a target. Anyone attacking them builds resentment points, causing effects like poisoning, bleeding, dizziness. That's terrifying, Miss Kai mutters. And amazing, Sun adds. 4. Job transfer scroll item rarity? Function, unlocks a new class or transforms current job path that's going to change someone's life, Lu Fan murmurs. As the teen stands around the chest, mouths hanging open at the bounty, the air finally begins to settle. Victory is sweet. The danger is gone. And the real adventure might just be beginning. Among the treasure, one item shines with mysterious potential, a rare consumable scroll capable of transforming a normal profession into a hidden one of the same class type. The kind of item players could only dream of. Without hesitation, Lu Fan picks the job transfer scroll, and as he lifts it, a blue energy pulses from his body. System notification, job transfer scroll acquired. Qin Xiao steps forward. You don't have to do this, she says gently. The loot's yours by the rules. But Lu Fan just smiles. Relax. I'm not trying to win generosity points. The rest of the gear is loaded with spirit stats, it suits you way better. Qin Xiao, touched, glances down at the chest. If it weren't for you, we might not have made it out alive. Lu Fan watches curiously as she reaches into the chest again, this time, pulling out the Ring of Morning. She holds it out. Then take this. You deserve more than just one reward. He accepts it without a second thought, closing his eyes briefly as the cool energy flows into his palm. Qin Xiao blushes, still clutching her staff. What else are you hiding, mystery man? She wonders silently, gazing into his eyes. Elsewhere, Xiaoyi is giggling while teasing Jiago, chasing his tail in Dragon Girl mode. Uncle Sun Ji Yu, watching Lu Fan from a distance, nods thoughtfully. That kid, he's something else. Miss Kai joins them, smiling. Time to head back. Later that night, Lu Fan returns to the familiar site of his Aunt Han Siyu's bun shop. The moment she sees him, she rushes over and hugs him tightly. You're back. Finally, she says, voice trembling. Surprised but warmed, Lu Fan pats her back. Whoa, easy. I'm still covered in wilderness grime. I don't care, she cries. You left without telling me anything. I thought I'd lost you. Feeling a pang of guilt, he gently wipes away her tears. I'm sorry. I won't disappear on you again. Nearby, Xiaoyi is curled up adorably, soaking up the attention as Han Siyu strokes her head. She's too cute, Han Siyu laughs. Hard to believe she's a fearsome dragon. Tell me about it, Lu Fan chuckles. Then, he pulls something from his inventory, the job transfer scroll. Auntie, I chose this for you. Han Siyu blinks in surprise. What? For me? Lu Fan nods. If you use this, you can upgrade to a hidden profession. No more toiling away in a bun shop. You deserve better. She shakes her head. Quickly. No way. This thing must be worth a fortune. Sell it. Use it to buy equipment for your big exam. But Lu Fan just pulls out his phone. Already covered. He flips the screen toward her, his bank balance glowing with digits most players only dream of. I sold materials I collected. Plus, Qin Xiao promised a 100,000 dragon coin bonus. He smiles. We're not going to worry about money anymore. Han Siyu stares, wide-eyed. And then, oh my, you really grew up. She hugs him again, tears of joy falling this time. Then I'll use it. For you. She takes the scroll and opens it. Immediately, a radiant blue light explodes from the parchment, wrapping around her like a divine aura. Her hair and clothes lift, suspended in the energy. She gasps, floating above the ground as the scroll dissolves into pure power. Lu Fan shields his eyes from the brilliance. Did it work? He asks. From within the light, Han Siyu turns to him, smiling softly. Yes. I succeeded. The air settles. The light fades. And everything changes. As the blue light faded, Han Siyu floated gently to the ground. Her profession had changed, she was now an enchantment chef. Lu Fan's eyes widened. A hidden profession? That's amazing. What can it do? Han Siyu beamed, still feeling the residual warmth of the transformation. It's called enchantment cooking. I can cook meals that grant buffs, speed, strength, even magic resistance. Lu Fan grinned. Your food was already legendary. Add buffs to it, and you'll turn into a 5-star buffing machine. Stop flattering me, she chuckled, playfully waving him off. But before Lu Fan could continue, he suddenly paused and looked around. Wait, where's Xiaoyi? Cut to the kitchen. Xiaoyi lay on the floor, stomach bloated, surrounded by empty plates and bun crumbs. She had snuck in, devoured every single dish, and promptly passed out in a food coma. Classic Xiaoyi. Meanwhile, that same night at the Qin family villa, Qin Xiao sat across from her father, Qin Shanhai, in his luxurious study. Swirling a glass of champagne, he asked calmly, "Is it true? A dragon tamer named Lu Fan summoned a black dragon to save you?" Qin Xiao nodded, her voice tinged with guilt. "Yes. I let my pride get in the way. If not for him, we'd all be dead." She clenched her fists. "We both have hidden professions, but the gap between us is like a firefly to the moon." Qin Shanhai turned to the window, silent for a moment. "Have you told anyone else about the dragon?" "No. I promised Lu Fan. Our family won't say a word." He smiled faintly, turning back toward her. "Good. The moment news of a dragon gets out, chaos will follow. Please," Qin Xiao added, eyes pleading. "Don't tell anyone. He saved our lives." Her father laughed softly. "Relax. I'm not the villain of your coming-of-age arc. So, how do you plan to repay him?" She explained the 100,000 yuan reward she'd promised him. Generous, Qin Shanhai nodded. "Take a purple tongue card and visit him personally tomorrow. Make it formal." She raised a brow. "Why not come with me if you're so curious about him?" He winked. "Because unlike you, I have a mountain of meetings. But I'd love to meet your dragon boy someday." Classic dad move. The next morning. The peaceful quiet of Han Siyu's bakery is interrupted by the arrival of two strangers, a short girl with a high-class aura, holding a magic staff. Her tall assistant, clad in sleek black armor, carrying a suspicious-looking suitcase. They step into the shop just as Han Siyu is kneading dough. "Sorry," she smiles warmly, peeking through the door. "No steamed buns today." But the girl wrinkles her nose in disdain. "This dump? Are you sure this is the place?" "Yes, Princess Jinshu," the assistant replies nervously. "Our intel confirms it." Han Siyu, puzzled, asks who they are. Without warning, the assistant pushes the door open, hitting Han Siyu in the arm. "Ouch," she yelps, clutching her elbow. The pair stride in like royalty barging into a village inn. "We're looking for someone," the princess announces. "A dragon tamer. Name, Lu Fan." From upstairs, Lu Fan hears the commotion and races down. He sees Han Siyu holding her arm, in pain. "Auntie, what happened?" Han Siyu tries to downplay it. "It's nothing. Just a bump." The princess scoffs at the rustic surroundings. "The smell in here, how do people survive like this?" Lu Fan glares. "Who are you people?" The assistant steps forward. "This is Princess Jin Shu of the Tai Kingdom. I am Chu Hong Tai, her assistant." The princess smiles confidently. "I've come all this way to offer you an opportunity, a breakthrough that could change everything." Lu Fan raised an eyebrow. He had faced monsters, bandits, and arrogant nobles, but this? This was new. Princess Jin Shu gave a smug smile, then snapped her fingers. Her assistant, Chu Hong Tai, knelt down and unlocked the suitcase with a dramatic click. Inside lay a gleaming dragon egg, pulsating faintly with energy. Lu Fan's eyes widened. A real dragon egg. He could feel the mana pulsing from it. He even started to sweat. The princess pointed at him. "Accept my request, and this egg is yours. But in exchange, you'll be my servant. You will obey my every command without question." "Seriously?" Spoiled princess energy was off the charts. Chu Hongtai stood up proudly, cradling the egg like it was a crown jewel. The princess, meanwhile, started flexing her royal muscles. "This is a reward from the armored dragon lair. It's the only dragon egg in the world." Back in reality, Han Siyu was visibly furious. "Excuse me. You want to make my nephew your servant?" Lu Fan, staying calm, opened his status window and scanned the egg's details: species, Armored Dragon trait, 30% damage reduction attack, 1 move, a slow, wide area tail sweep mobility, poor combat potential, lower than a wyvern. This thing's basically a walking shield, he muttered. A dragon? More like a bulky lizard in cosplay. But Jinshu misread his silence. Speechless, aren't you? It's powerful, I know. Lu Fan cut her off, deadpan, powerful? Its only feature is defense. I'm not sure it even qualifies as a dragon. Jinshu gasped like she'd just been slapped with a noodle. Do you even understand what a dragon egg means to a tamer? Han Siyu watched this drama unfold, completely baffled by the absurdity of it all. How can a child like her think ordering people around makes sense? Lu Fan placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Don't worry, Auntie. I'll handle it. The princess wasn't done with her delusions. A dragon tamer without a dragon is worthless. Join me, and I'll make you the strongest man in history. Fame, power, it can all be yours. Lu Fan, still calm, gave the most Lu Fan response ever, no thanks. Boom. The refusal hit her like a magical brick to the face. What? Are you really turning down the chance to make history? Lu Fan folded his arms. If you're done, you can leave now. I'm not interested in your offer, or your egg. Chu Hongtai stepped in, scowling. The princess gave you a chance, and you spit on it? You ignorant fool. I won't be anyone's servant, Lu Fan replied coolly. Respect is earned, not bought with cheap deals. Princess Jinshu's face twisted with rage. Teach him a lesson, she ordered. Chu Hongtai cracked his knuckles and stepped forward, ready to throw hands. Han Siyu quickly stepped between them, pleading, please. Don't fight. He just doesn't want this, can't you see that? But Chu Hongtai wasn't listening. Out of the way, old woman. He shoved her to the side. She stumbled and cried out, falling hard against the counter. Lu Fan froze. Then, his blood boiled. He rushed to her, eyes wide with concern. Auntie! Are you okay? She nodded, holding her red, swollen cheek. I'm fine, but that boy needs to be taught some manners. Chu Hongtai sneered. You dare defy Princess Jinshu? You lowly commoners don't know your place. Han Siyu screamed, Lu Fan. But it was too late. In a blink, Lu Fan stepped forward, his black machete gleaming in his hand. He slashed. A burst of wind followed. Blood sprayed. Chu Hongtai stumbled back, cheek bleeding, eyes wide with disbelief. Lu Fan pointed his blade straight at him. You laid a hand on my family. I won't show mercy. Just as Lu Fan's blade drew blood, Han Ku rushed in, grabbing his arm. Lu Fan, don't. Don't act impulsively. But it was too late for diplomacy. The bratty Princess Jinshu, completely clueless about what had just happened, still demanded answers. What's wrong with Chu Hongtai? I told you to teach him a lesson. Chu Hongtai, stunned from Lu Fan's earlier attack, now realized this wasn't just some random commoner. This boy was dangerous. Then, with zero hesitation, Lu Fan stepped forward, reached out, and slapped the princess. Hard. The sound echoed like thunder. Everyone froze. I don't care what royal playground you crawled out of, Lu Fan growled. Shut your noisy mouth, take your trash, and get out of my home. Slap. Even her ancestors probably felt that one. Chu Hongtai saw red. You dare lay a hand on the princess. He lunged, but Lu Fan wasn't done. With one swift motion, Lu Fan swung his black machete, knocking the spear wand out of Hongtai's hand like it was a toy. The bratty princess sat on the ground, still cradling her cheek, absolutely seething. Her face twisted with fury. You idiot, she screamed at Chu Hongtai. Does this look fine to you? Kill him. I don't care if we never find another tamer again, just kill him. Hongtai wiped the blood from his mouth and stood. Yes, princess. Elsewhere. Back in Lu Fan's room, his phone wouldn't stop ringing. Inside the house, Xiaoi, our sassy black dragon waifu, rolled her eyes. Does he ever mute his phone? The caller was Qin Xiao, pacing the streets, confused. That's the number he gave me. Why isn't he picking up? She glanced around, trying to remember where his house was when, boom. A wall nearby exploded. Debris scattered. People screamed. Chu Hongtai had just been launched through it like a meteor. Qin Xiao stared. You look terrible. Locals pointed and whispered, a foreigner's causing trouble. The princess snapped, go away, all of you. Stop staring. And through the dust, Lu Fan walked out like a boss. Big black machete in hand. Calm. Confident. Chu Hongtai fell to his knees. I can't defeat him, his attributes are too high, but the princess wasn't ready to quit. Then let me help. She began chanting. Dark energy swirled around her like a vortex of rage. Lu Fan watched closely. That energy, it's the exact opposite of Qin Shio's holy spells. Suddenly, Qin Shio appeared, running toward him. Lu Fan. Are you okay? What are you doing here? Before he could say more, Princess Jin Shu finished her incantation. All that twisted energy flowed into Chu Hongtai. He screamed, convulsing from the power overload. A blinding light exploded around them. Lu Fan and Qin Shio shielded their eyes. A status window popped up, Chu Hongtai, Guardian Knight, Combat Class, Princess Jin Shu, Advanced Spiritual Witch, Combat Class, when the light faded. Chu Hongtai had transformed. Muscles doubled. Aura darkened. Eyes glowing. He was no longer human, he was a monster. I'm here to help, Qin Shio said firmly, stepping in front of Lu Fan. But Hongtai lunged at them with unnatural speed. Qin Shio, take care of my aunt. Lu Fan shouted, pushing her aside. The ground exploded where he had just been standing. Debris flew everywhere. Sliding back, Lu Fan narrowed his eyes. His attack power, it's off the charts. I'll need dragon inspiration and dragon claw to survive this. The princess stood nearby, shrieking, kill him. Kill him and I'll finally calm down. Hongtai yanked his staff from the dirt, ready to strike again. But before he could move, a blur of black shot from the window. Xiaoi, our dragon waifu, had arrived. In a flash of light, she returned to her original dragon form, wings unfurled, scales gleaming. The princess and Chu Hongtai froze. It's a real dragon, Princess Jin Shu clutched her staff, stammering. Useless trash. Hold him off, I'll cast another spell. But before her chant could even begin, Xiaoi roared. A thunderous, god-tier roar that shook the entire street. The blast wave knocked the princess off her feet, cancelling her spell instantly and blowing her wig of entitlement into another dimension. We pick up right where we left off, with Shirao Ei, our legendary dragon waifu, fully unleashed. Activating her dragon bloodline skill, Xiaoi gained 50% damage reduction immunity to all debuffs and, wait for it, 500% boosted self-healing talk about plot armor on steroids. Without even flinching, she grabbed Chu Hongtai and body-slammed him into the ground. He squealed like a spoiled toddler who just dropped his lollipop. Let me go. Being the good dragon she is, she obeyed, but only after launching him like a meteor toward Princess Jin Shu. He crashed into the road beside her, creating a massive crater and zero sympathy from anyone. At this point, he honestly owed Honu, Lu Fan, and every pedestrian within 5 blocks an apology. Seeing her elite warrior flattened like a pancake, Princess Jin Shu's eyes widened. For the first time, reality hit her. Wait, real dragons exist. Not just those gene family lizards with scale allergies. Before she could faint from realization, Lu Fan stepped in. Walking slowly toward her, his black machete in hand, eyes full of fury, and aura screaming final boss mode. Weren't you the one planning to kill me to vent your anger? He asked coldly. Jin Shu backed away in fear, only to trip over her own ego and land on her royal butt. Stay away from me, she cried, now all tears and trembling. You attacked my attendant, injured him, humiliated me, threatened me. Oh, now she wants to play the victim? Classic. You're now an enemy of the Tai Kingdom, she wailed dramatically, like a villainous rejected in episode 1. But Lu Fan wasn't fazed. Not even a blink. He flexed his machete and asked calmly, trying to scare me. As he reached her, his gaze hardened. You sent your man to harm my family. I don't care if you're a princess or a god. I'll repay every act of yours. With interest. The princess was frozen in fear. And as if the moment wasn't intense enough, Xia was in the background, charging up a fireball the size of a truck. Lu Fan raised his blade, ready to strike. Lu Fan. A voice echoed from the sky. Qin Shan Hai, Qin Shio's father, descended on a majestic griffin, heading straight toward the scene. Dad! It's dangerous. Xiao shouted. Xia noticed the incoming figure and locked onto him like a turret. Her fireball aimed and locked on. No, Xia, stop! Lu Fan ordered, holding out his hand. Right then, he sliced through the princess's staff, cutting off her power source just as easily as he cut her confidence. The fireball vanished as Xia held her fire, and Qin Shanhai landed safely. Call back your dragon, Lu Fan, he said, gesturing to the bystanders. There are civilians here. This place isn't a battlefield. He glanced at Xia with awe. So this is a real dragon. Even his poor griffin trembled like a chihuahua in a thunderstorm. Qin Xiao ran up to Lu Fan, grabbing his arm. Please, come with me. Lu Fan nodded. Xia immediately reverted to her human form, calm and composed as if she didn't just nearly vaporize royalty. Scene shift, Han's bun shop. Lu Fan sat down with Honu, recounting everything. She explained that Qin Shanhai knew the princess and that Xiao had called him, hoping he could help resolve the conflict. That brat's not gonna let this go, Lu Fan muttered. Just then, Qin Shanhai entered. You sure know how to stir things up, kid, he said with a wry smile. This time, it wasn't my fault, Lu Fan said. She picked the fight. Han Ku cut in, asking the important question, so, how's this being handled? Qin Shanhai replied, they're both in the hospital. And yes, we'll have to explain everything to the Jin family. That name hit the room like a cold wind. The Jin family. Honu asked, worried. Aren't they just merchants? Not just merchants, Qin Shanhai replied. They've got power. Political influence. They're deeply tied to the Tai Kingdom's upper elite. The room grew tense. But Lu Fan? Still cool as ever. I'm not compromising my dignity over a dragon egg. Let her bring the whole kingdom if she wants. Qin Shanhai smiled. You've got guts, Lu Fan. I admire that. And for once, the room wasn't filled with tension, but with respect. After the dust settled, Qin Shanhai lit a cigarette with casual confidence, exhaling a cloud of smoke as he laid out the terms for Lu Fan's safety. I can keep the princess off your back, for now. But I can't do it alone. You have a condition to meet. Lu Fan, curious, raised his cigarette like a question mark. What condition? Qin Shanhai's eyes gleamed. Become the South Province champion in the grand exam. He was clear and unwavering. I'll hold the princess at bay until then, but only if you beat every top student in the entire South Province. Before Lu Fan could respond, Qin Xiao added with a serious tone, it won't be easy. There are countless elites. But if you're champion, that's when I'll really step in. Lu Fan's face hardened with determination. Boiling. Pacing furiously, phone pressed to her ear, she screamed accusations. Qin Shanhai is obviously protecting Lu Fan. He hasn't been punished yet. The voice on the other end tried to soothe her, promising to escalate the matter to higher officials. No, she barked. Put pressure on the kingdom's top brass. This is my command. Lu Fan will pay for this humiliation. Despite her rage, deep down, we all know, even her entire empire wouldn't stand a chance against Lu Fan and his dragon. Scene shifts to the third middle school, day before the grand exam. The playground buzzed with nervous energy. Groups formed, whispers floated. Then, a hush fell as Lu Fan walked back onto campus. Whispers erupted, is that Lu Fan? The bun seller? He used to be top tier, but no school wanted him now. Why is he even trying the exam again? Lu Fan barely blinked at the gossip. Nostalgia hit him briefly, but he stayed relaxed, like a dragon who's already won. Suddenly, the headmaster's booming voice cut through the chatter. Settle down. The South Province Grand Exam is about to begin. Lu Fan stood among a sea of students, thoughts deep. He remembered the treasure maps he'd been collecting, all intermediate level and unused. A plan formed, combined 3 intermediate maps to create a high-level treasure map for exam prep. Lost in thought, a familiar voice snapped him back. Teacher Li approached. Lu Fan, you're in the grand exam. Yeah, been training hard, Lu Fan replied. Impressed, Teacher Li handed him a rare teleportation stone. I believe your fighting spirit might rival even the professionals. The stone had cool features, use it in the trial secret realm, and it teleports you to the first floor of the Heavenly Tower. Use it in the Heavenly Tower, and it sends you back to the trial secret realm platform. Teacher Li's tone grew serious. Professions matter here. This exam isn't a game. One wrong move can mean injury. Or worse. Find a reliable teammate, and don't hesitate to use that stone to escape if things get dangerous. Lu Fan nodded. Got it, I'll be careful. As Teacher Li walked off, whispers circled again, this time doubting Lu Fan's strength. But Lu Fan was unfazed. He wasn't here to just scrape by, he wanted to win. Top score. Champion title. Just like he promised Qin Shan Hai. Then, from across the yard, a new voice called out his name. Lu Fan turned at the call and saw Qin Xiao approaching, accompanied by a girl he hadn't met before. Curious, he greeted them both and asked, "Is she your teammate?" Qin Xiao introduced her without hesitation. "This is Ta Xiaoman, my best friend and a level 1 combat professional swordsman." Ta Xiaoman smiled politely and said hello, but before she could elaborate, Qin Xiao cut straight to the point. "Lu Fan, do you want to team up with us for the trial?" Ta Xiaoman blinked, surprised by the invitation. Lu Fan, however, politely declined. "Thanks, but I'm going solo this time. I set this challenge for myself." Waving goodbye, he headed off to the exam site, leaving Qin Xiao a little disappointed. She mused that teaming up with someone like him might actually slow him down. After Lu Fan left, Ta Xiaoman whispered to Qin Xiao, puzzled, "Why did you invite someone from the weakest profession?" Qin Xiao just smiled knowingly. "He's stronger than he looks. I think he might even be the top scorer in the southern province." Ta Xiaoman gasped, teasing her, "Are you falling for the dragon tamer himself?" Blushing, Qin Xiao denied it, but her reddened cheeks gave her away. Ta Xiaoman laughed. The scene shifted to the Grand Exams Trial Secret Realm. Lu Fan strode confidently through the portal, feeling like the real boss here. Up on a giant screen, Principal Bai Henggu addressed the gathered students. He explained the 4 portal difficulty levels: normal, all projections, no fatal injuries, score multiplier 0. 9x. Hard, real monsters begin, teleportation stone can be used to exit safely, score multiplier 1. 0x. Most students choose this. Fear, more ferocious monsters, not recommended for solo challenges, score multiplier 3. 0x. Safety over sharing scores. Nightmare, the toughest challenge, left implied. Suddenly, a loud laugh broke out. Hong Wu, a level 14 Kaiyong master with a hidden profession, confidently declared, "Watch me set the highest score in the exam." Ta Xiaoman watched in awe. Qin Xiao explained, "Hong Wu is the #1 expert at #1 middle school and ranks top 5 in the province. As a Kaiyong master, he's deadly versatile, great at attack and defense." Hong Wu's bold claim dampened spirits. Many students sighed, thinking only lower rankings were left for them. Cut to Principal Bai Henggu's office, screens tracked students' progress. The principal of #1 middle school laughed boastfully, "Hong Wu is our strongest, top scorer for sure." He gave a nod to Qin Xiao as a rising star, expecting her to be top 3. But Principal Bai Henggu felt wistful. If only Lu Fan had awakened another hidden profession, he might have taken first place. His thoughts were interrupted by Qin Shan Hai, who mentioned a promising candidate for the top spot. Curious, the #1 school principal asked who. Qin Shan Hai answered, "Lu Fan, the dragon tamer from #3 school." This left Principal Bai Henggu stunned. The #1 school principal scoffed, "All the students have already entered the tower, but Lu Fan hasn't. Is he giving up?" He dismissed Qin Shan Hai's faith, snorting, "What could a dragon tamer possibly achieve?" Glancing at the scoreboard, he noted, Hong Wu's already on the 4th floor, ranked first. Suddenly, Principal Bai Henggu leaned in toward the screen, eyes wide. "Wait, he's not giving up." Everyone turned toward the monitor. Lu Fan wasn't hesitating. He was waiting for the final portal, the nightmare trial. The portal shimmered into view, casting a dark red glow across the sky. A massive notification appeared above it, "Nightmare trial open, score multiplier 9. 9x." The room went silent. Then chaos broke out. The principal of #1 school jumped from his seat. "Is that kid insane? That trial's a one-way trip." He turned to Principal Bai Henggu in panic. "Stop him. He'll die in there." But it was too late. With calm confidence and the faintest smile, Lu Fan stepped into the portal. Principal Bai Henggu's face darkened. No one who's entered that trial has ever come back intact. He recalled the last attempt, 8 years ago. The challenger had been devoured alive by a ferocious beast, not even his bones remained. The #1 school principal scoffed. Did he even study the rules? He's clearly lost his mind. He side-eyed Qin Shanghai. Maybe your judgment needs a reality check. Lu Fan isn't even in the same league as Hong Wu. But Qin Shanghai merely smirked and leaned back in his seat. Let's not jump to conclusions. The exam's just getting started. He added with a wink, let's focus on your invincible Taeyong master for now. Principal Bai Hunggu turned toward him. Why do you trust Lu Fan so much? But before he got an answer. Inside the nightmare trial, first floor fog thick as soup. Shadows moving. Red eyes glowing. Then, thud. A massive paw hit the ground. Lu Fan stepped forward, unfazed. He could sense them, at least 10 monsters circling him. The fog parted, revealing a pack of snarling black wolves. Level 10. Sharp fangs. Fast movement. Their most dangerous traits. Bite attack inflicts continuous bleeding. Night howl increases all allies' attributes and resets their skill cooldowns. The wolves roared and lunged. Lu Fan didn't flinch. Let's see what you've got. He raised his massive black machete. Dragon Fang Strike. A blinding slash tore through the fog. In one sweeping motion, every single wolf was cut down. Notification popped. First floor complete, Nightmare Trial Sky Tower plus 990 points control room, silence. Then, chaos. The principal of #1 school gawked. Wait, what? One hit. What is this kid? Even Principal Bai Hunggu looked stunned. Could it be did he find the legendary dragon? On the scoreboard, Lu Fan's name soared upward. Rank 2 to 990 points. Everyone in the surveillance room now had their eyes glued to Lu Fan's feed. He took down level 10 black wolves like they were puppies. Suddenly, the door opened. A tall figure entered, wearing a detective's coat, cap low, glasses on, and a briefcase in hand. He didn't say a word at first, just stood in the corner. Qin Shanghai turned and immediately sat up straight. The man finally spoke, Kaiyan Slong, special investigator from Longdi. He slowly removed his cap, his sharp eyes locking onto Qin Shanghai. I'm here for someone. A person of interest. Where's the Dragon Master, Lu Fan? A stat screen appeared behind him, Kaiyan Slong, level 57, combat specialist back inside the tower. Lu Fan moved forward through the thick fog of the Nightmare Trial's first floor. And just like that, the real nightmare had only begun. Inside the dense fog of the Nightmare Trial, Lu Fan marched confidently, his massive black machete slashing through thorny vines. In his other hand, he held up his system map, the screen glowing faintly as he tracked his location. Then it pinged. You have reached the location marked on the treasure map. Lu Fan's eyes lit up. Another notification followed, Heil treasure map detected. Exclusive treasure nearby. He grinned. Finally, the vines thinned out ahead, and nestled between them was an ancient book, gleaming with embedded gems and pulsing with energy. He reached for it. You have acquired, skill book, accelerated growth. The book shone brilliantly as if it recognized its destined wielder. Passive skill, accelerated growth doubles pet experience gain. Enhances growth rate permanently. Without hesitation, Lu Fan opened the book. Energy burst out and enveloped him, flowing into his veins like wildfire. He smiled. This is exactly what Shirao-e needs. Ever since they left Morning Village, his dragon companion had been leveling up too slowly. But now? With this passive skill, she'd evolve at twice the speed. Lu Fan could already imagine the look on his opponents' faces. Back in the surveillance room, Principal Bai Hunggu, Qin Shanghai, and the mysterious envoy Shin Xiong all stared at Lu Fan's screen. Shin Xiong broke the silence. Principal Bai, I'll bring him back. Now. I'm taking him to Longdi. Bai Hunggu raised an eyebrow. He's still taking the exam. It's better we wait. I'll take responsibility as his administrator. But Shin Xiong frowned sharply. You can take responsibility, but you can't suffer his punishment. Bai Hunggu froze. Punishment? What punishment are you talking about? Before he could reply, Qin Shanghai stepped forward and gently grabbed Shin Xiong's arm. Old friend, let's step back a moment. We can talk this out. But Shin Xiong pulled away forcefully, his face cold. Don't interfere, Qin Shanghai. Don't test me. If you get involved, the Jin family and the higher-ups in Longdi won't be pleased. Gasps filled the room. Officials from #1 middle school stared. What did Lu Fan do? One finally asked. Qin Xiong didn't answer. His eyes locked onto Qin Shanghai, who now stood tall and silent, staring straight back. I don't understand why you're protecting him, Qin Xiong growled. But step aside. Qin Shanghai didn't flinch. You'll have to go through me. Qin Xiong's patience snapped. Bring Lu Fan out. Now. I'm busy, and I don't want to waste time. Just then, Qin Shanghai calmly took out a cigarette, lit it, and took a slow drag. Old friend, is that what I still am to you? Qin Xiong paused mid-step, visibly agitated. Political tension buzzed in the air. The room knew now, this wasn't just about a student. It was about alliances, secrets, and the ever-tightening grip of the Jin family. Qin Shanghai's voice turned deadly serious. Once Lu Fan's truth comes to light, the Jin family, Long Di, none of them will matter. The room froze. Qin Xiong's face twisted in fury. You're talking nonsense. There's no truth. You're defying a Long Di envoy. He turned to leave, but Qin Shanghai grabbed his arm again. If I'm going too far, so be it. I'll accept the consequences. The air between them turned electric. A system window flashed. Qin Shanghai, level 57 knight, Qin Xiong, level 57 swordsman. They were evenly matched, but emotionally, the battlefield was tilted. Qin Xiong's voice lowered into a threat. I'll report this to the top. You'll regret it. Before fists could fly, Principal Bai Hungo stepped in between them. Enough. This is a major exam. You must not disrupt it. Everyone tensed. For now, the storm was paused, but not calmed. Meanwhile, inside the nightmare trial, Lu Fan calmly advanced, unaware of the storm brewing above him. But he could feel it. Something big was coming. Qin Shanghai leaned forward, eyes locked on Qin Xiong. Tell me something, old friend, aren't you even a little curious about Lu Fan's secret? The one powerful enough to shake the very foundations of Long Du and the Jin family. Qin Xiong stiffened. He turned back to the monitor, brows furrowed. Wait, is he really in the nightmare level of the trial? The words hit like a thunderbolt. That's suicide, Qin Xiong muttered, stunned. Only a lunatic would challenge that level. What gives this kid the right? What makes him so special? Inside the tower, Lu Fan stood in front of a massive, ancient gate etched with dragon scales and glowing runes. It pulsed with danger. He took a deep breath. Time to test my limits. With his new passive skill activated, his mind was clear. A quick glance at his status screen confirmed it. Passive skill acquired, accelerated growth, plus 100% EXP gain for summoned pets. He smirked. No better time to give Xia some battle training. Back in the surveillance room, the principal of number 1 middle school broke the silence. Didn't you see him wipe out a dozen beasts in a single move earlier? That wasn't luck, that was talent. Even Qin Xiong couldn't deny it. His expression twisted in confusion and unease. Suddenly, Lu Fan's voice echoed from the monitor, "Come out, shall we?" In a flash of black light, the massive black dragon appeared, horns gleaming, scales like obsidian, eyes glowing with raw fury. Her roar shook the very tower. Everyone in the surveillance room froze. Even the ever-calm Qin Xiong staggered backward. That's a dragon, a real dragon. Xiaoyi raised a claw, her muscles flexing. With a single earth-shaking strike, she smashed the gate to pieces. Rubble exploded outward like a storm. The path to the next floor was now wide open. Qin Shanghai wiped the sweat off his brow. Now you've seen it. This is Lu Fan's secret. Everyone stared, dumbfounded. Not a single person could speak. He's not just a dragon tamer. He's the only tamer in history with a real dragon. Principal Bai Hungu, normally unshakable, finally spoke up. Lu Fan really tamed a giant dragon. Inside the trial, second-floor Xiao's wings spread wide as she let out a blast of flame breath, scorching everything in sight. The plant monsters shrieked and wilted instantly. Lu Fan charged forward, his black machete cutting down beasts with precise, brutal efficiency. Second floor cleared, plus 50,000 points. Back in the control room, everyone's eyes shot to the leaderboard. Number 1, Lu Fan, 50,000 points. Number 2, Hong Wu, 27,550 points. Number 3, Qin Xiao and Dao Xiaoman, 12,570 points. Lu Fan and Xiaoyi kept climbing. By the 13th floor, it was an all-out massacre. Xiaoyi mowed down enemies with fire and claw. Lu Fan's blade sliced through monsters like paper. No hesitation. No mercy. 13th floor cleared, the surveillance room remained silent, too stunned to speak. Principal Bai Hunggu murmured, This isn't just about the dragon. Lu Fan's raw strength alone is terrifying. I'd bet his attributes are over 100 across the board by now. He looked toward Qin Shanghai, voice low, even without the dragon, Lu Fan might be number 1 in all of Shanghai City. Qin Xiong stood frozen. Qin Shanghai turned to him with a knowing look. So, tell me now. After witnessing this, do you still want to take Lu Fan to the higher-ups of Longdu? Qin Xiong lowered his head slightly, his voice softer than before. Now. I understand. I finally see why you dared to defy the Jin family. Qin Xiong stood quietly, the image of Xiao's destruction replaying in his mind. He whispered to himself, half in disbelief, I've truly witnessed the power of a dragon. Qin Shanghai nodded with a knowing smile. He pulled out a crystal drive and said calmly, I'll send a video segment of Lu Fan's major exam to the teacher. From now on, there's no need for any special envoy to mess with Lu Fan or the Jin family. He turned to Qin Xiong. You should return. Qin Xiong's eyes narrowed. Teacher? You mean Northmark Jing, don't you? Qin Shanghai simply smiled, not confirming, yet not denying. Inside the tower, Nightmare Trial, floor 20 Lu Fan stood in a pitch-black corridor. A strange purple light flickered at the end, and began to move toward him. Warning, high-level magic detected. It was a spell, launched by a dark sacrifice, a level 15 elite enemy. The status window flickered, Black Curse, decreases enemy stats by 50%. Increases allies' stats by 25%. Merge into darkness, grants invincibility for 15 seconds. Dark Control, full command over allied Dark Knights. Dozens of shadowed figures stood behind the sacrifice, glowing eyes locked on Lu Fan. But Lu Fan just smirked. Xia? Let's turn up the heat. Lava blaze. Xiaoyi let out a roar, her body glowing orange as flames surged around her. She fired Lava Blaze, a stream of molten destruction that incinerated everything in its path. The best part? Lava Blaze, continuous damage plus self-healing active, total carnage and regeneration. A true dragon multitasks. Within seconds, the entire corridor was turned to scorched rubble. All enemies, gone. 20th floor cleared, Xiaoyi, level up, 11, Lu Fan, level up, 16, Lu Fan looked at his dragon with pride. We're just getting started. Let's conquer the Heavenly Tower, together. Fear Trial, 50th floor meanwhile, on the Fear Trial side, a huge explosion rocked the battlefield. 50th floor cleared, it was Hong Wu, basking in the destruction. He grinned smugly, flexing for the invisible cameras. This year's grand exam is tough, but come on. These monsters should be on the 70th floor, not here. He mentally brushed aside every competitor. Qin Xiao's my only threat, but she's in a team. Her points will be halved. First place? It's mine. He chuckled and spoke loudly toward the viewing crystal, Principal Bai Hunggu. Better start calling the top universities. Your future no. One is ready. Too bad, no one was watching. Surveillance room. The principals had their attention fixed elsewhere. The 50th floor, the murmured Principal Bai Hunggu. This is where most professionals in the southern province fall. The principal of First Middle School nodded. It's a true threshold. Even if Lu Fan passes it, he'll slow down. The difficulty spike is brutal from here. Back to Lu Fan, 50th floor of the Nightmare Trial. A snowstorm whirled around him. The landscape was covered in deep ice, creating an eerie silence. Lu Fan checked Xiao's status window and blinked in surprise. New skill unlocked, shape transformation. This wasn't just a power-up, it was a game-changer. Xiao now had 4 separate forms. Young Dragon form, boosts all stats, cuts energy cost by 50%. Dragon Maiden form, formed by their blood pact. Also, definite waifu material. Destruction Dragon open form E-50% strength, plus 100% spirit. Gain skills, Daylight Incineration Lava Eruption World-ending form E-50% spirit, plus 100% strength. Gain skills, Earthbend Fearful Raw. Lu Fan stared at the forms, speechless. She's not a pet anymore. She's a one-dragon apocalypse. Suddenly, the ground shook. Giant boulders stirred. 3 massive figures formed from the snow and rock, each one an amethyst mountain giant, level 20. Their eyes glowed blood red. Skills detected: mountain arm, devastating frontal strike. Landslide, large-scale area collapse. Amethyst rock, reduces magic damage by 50%, immune to armor pierce. Lu Fan tightened his grip on his machete. All right, then. Let's see how these giants handle a dragon with 4 modes. Back in the surveillance room, Principal Bai Hunggu leaned forward, concern etched on his face. How is Lu Fan going to handle 3 nightmare-level bosses at once? The principal of First Middle School nodded in agreement. I thought the 50th floor would slow him down. Even so, Lu Fan's score has already surpassed the rest. If this keeps up, he'll not only top Jianghai City, but likely become Southern Province's top scholar. He sighed wistfully, adding, why isn't such a promising student from our First Middle School? Ah, that classic academic rivalry. Some things never change. Back on the 50th floor meanwhile, Lu Fan stood face to face with the colossal amethyst mountain giants. Their status windows blinked ominously, skill charging, mountain arm, a crushing frontal assault was coming straight at him. But did Lu Fan panic? Not even slightly. So, this is what halfway up the tower feels like. Time to bring out the big guns. Just as the attack was about to connect, Xiaoyi leapt forward. She raised her left claw and caught the massive blow, sending shockwaves rippling across the frozen battlefield. Lu Fan stood calm and composed in the eye of the storm. All right, Xia. Try out your world-ender form. Xiaoyi let out a thunderous roar. Suddenly, her body erupted in crimson flames. Her silhouette twisted and reformed, turning pitch black with glowing, blood-red eyes. In the surveillance room, Principal Bai Hunggu sat up straight. Lu Fan's dragon is transforming. The system notification chimed. Transformation complete. World Ender form active. Strength 456-2, 912 spirit 1, 424 712 new skills. Earth Shatterer. World ending raw. Even Qin Shan Hai couldn't hide his awe. That transformation, it's terrifying. Gives me chills. Battlefield carnage. Lu Fan, now synced with his dragon's strength, readied himself. One of the mountain giants lunged at him from behind. Without even looking, Lu Fan sensed the movement and jumped into the air, dodging with ease. Skill activated, Dragon Inspiration, boosts Lu Fan and Xia's stats by 10%. Now supercharged, Lu Fan ordered, Xia, bite its head off. No dramatic build-up. No extra commands. Just raw execution. Xiaoyi obeyed. With one mighty snap of her jaws, boom! The giant's head shattered like glass. In the control room, jaws dropped. That was a level 20 boss, the First Middle School principal gasped. And she crushed it like it was nothing. Principal Bai Hunggu ran the numbers. To pierce an amethyst giant's defense, that dragon's attack power must have exceeded 2,000. As the first giant fell, the second tried to grab Lu Fan, but again, he sidestepped with graceful agility. He followed up with Dragon Claw, slamming his opponent with such force that the ground cracked open in a shockwave explosion. Back in the viewing chamber, Qin Shan Hai turned to Qin Xiong. Aren't you glad you didn't try to take Lu Fan away earlier? Qin Xiong remained silent, his eyes locked on the screen. The end is near. As Lu Fan danced around the battlefield, Xiaoyi prepared her next move. Skill activated, world-ending roar, applies vulnerability debuff to enemies. The remaining giant staggered, visibly weakened. Lu Fan took aim, preparing to strike the final blow, but before he could act, Xiaoyi reared back and slammed the earth with both claws. Skill activated, Earth Shatterer, the impact split the ground wide open. A massive black pit yawned beneath them, pulling the last giant in. And just like that, all bosses eliminated, floor 50 cleared. Lu Fan stood at the edge of the pit, wind howling around him, his dragon roaring beside him. As smoke still curled from the destruction of the 50th floor, the system chimed in. Black Dragon has leveled up, LV. 12. Lu Fan has leveled up, LV. 16. Lu Fan's eyes lit up with excitement. Nightmare mode was definitely the right call. He realized something key. With every floor getting harder, his own power would keep skyrocketing. Victory wasn't just rewarding, it was supercharging him. Suddenly, another announcement echoed, "Congratulations! You have cleared floor 50. Without hesitation, Lu Fan turned toward the glowing portal, Xiaoyi following close behind like a shadow forged in fire. Back in the monitoring room, Qin Shan Hai crossed his arms with a smirk. So much for the dreaded 50th floor. Didn't even slow him down. The principal of First Middle School added, "That dragon. Her strength goes beyond anything I've studied. It defies common logic." Principal Bai Hungu turned to Special Envoy Qin Xiong, who had spent years in the battle-hardened Dragon City. "With your experience, can you estimate the Black Dragon's true strength after transformation?" Qin Xiong's face was unusually serious. "I've seen monsters in Dragon City that could tear through legions. And yet, compared to them, this dragon's transformed strength? At least 500 points, bare minimum." Gasps filled the room. The principal of First Middle School nearly choked. 500. Our entire stat sheets look like child's play compared to that. Bai Hungu nodded slowly. "Just as I thought. Her stats are only going to keep growing." Then the principal added something that grabbed everyone's attention. "Now that Lu Fan has cleared floor 50, the X+1 mode kicks in." Qin Shanhai raised a brow. "X plus what now?" Bai Hungu explained, "The Trials architect designed this mode to mimic real secret realms. After floor 50, every floor labeled a X is followed by a boss floor, the +1. It keeps challengers in a constant state of mortal peril. And in nightmare mode? Both the X floors and the +1 floors are packed with nightmare-level bosses. Not just one per floor, of multiple. All with enhanced strength and AI." Qin Shanhai gave a dry laugh. "Sounds brutal. But why worry? Lu Fan's out there turning nightmare bosses into fertilizer." Elsewhere in the tower, Lu Fan was doing exactly that. Wielding his massive black machete, he hacked through a heavily armored boss like it was a training dummy. Meanwhile, Xiaoi, his pitch-black, flame-wreathed dragon, sank her teeth into the head of a different monster like it was a crunchy snack. The system blared again, cleared floor 70. Xiaoi has leveled up, LV. 13. Lu Fan has leveled up, LV. 18. In the surveillance room, Qin Shanhai whistled. The Tower of Heaven was designed to be unbeatable past floor 50. But with that dragon by his side, Lu Fan doesn't need tactics, just targets. Lu Fan casually wiped the blood from his mouth, eyes sharp with focus. "Xia, let's move." With a growl of delight, Xiaoi responded, splitting a monster's head like it was a ripe melon. Principal Bai Hungu leaned forward, his voice low with disbelief. "He's at floor 78 already, in mere minutes." The First Middle School principal shook his head. This year's Heaven Tower was supposed to be the hardest version ever crafted. "I doubted anyone could reach the 80s. He paused, then chuckled bitterly. "Guess I'll be eating those words now." Rampage mode, activated just then, the atmosphere shifted. Xiaoi let out a world-ending roar and went into full rampage mode. Flames poured from her mouth like volcanic wrath, lighting up the tower's stone halls in apocalyptic red. The nightmare-level bosses, previously oozing intimidation, were now fleeing like panicked rats. Monsters ran. Xiaoi hunted. And Lu Fan? He walked through the inferno like a god among mortals. The system's voice cut through the tension like a blade. 76th floor cleared, the boss this time? A giant worm-like monstrosity, all fangs and scales. It didn't even get the chance to blink. One strike from Lu Fan's dragon blood armor, and boom, it was over. Xiaoi has leveled up, LV. 14. Lu Fan has leveled up, LV. 19. Xia casually held the boss's severed head like a bored butcher showing off her catch. Back at the principal's office, Principal Bongu sat in silence, staring at the monitor. He finally spoke. "So many geniuses have come this far, only to fall short. They burned everything, pushed to the edge, and still perished." Qin Shanhai nodded solemnly. "The 70s and 80s floors, once you reach them, you read too deep in to turn back. It becomes a one-way path." Bongu folded his arms, watching Lu Fan scream. "But this one? He's different. He might actually do it. First in a decade to reach the end." System notification, entering floor 99, and just like that, the scene shifted. Lu Fan stepped onto a broken battlefield. It was a desolate, ruined hall, crumbling staircases, shattered pillars, and a massive obsidian throne in the distance. Surrounding it, for headless knights, each wreathed in blue flames. Silent. Menacing. Armed to the teeth. They didn't need eyes to see, just bloodlust to feel. Each one had a nightmare toolkit, penetration strikes with deadly multipliers, auto-trigger counterattacks, lightning speed assaults, and the worst of all, a beheading skill that instantly killed anyone under 57% HPO, and to make things more fun. They shared boosted HP pools and armor. Yeah, Lu Fan muttered, cracking his neck. Real welcoming committee. But Lu Fan wasn't shaken. He recognized this flaw. It mirrored the Shattered Kingdom, a realm swallowed in flames centuries ago by the undead. History class ends now. Without delay, the axe-wielding knight charged. Its glowing weapon shimmered with the instant kill curse. Lu Fan had no control skills. Only raw power. So he went headfirst. He leapt into the fray, black machete singing through the air. The first strike? A scratch. The knight instantly healed. Worse, the slash triggered a counterattack. The knight struck back, hard. But Lu Fan braced himself, blocking at the last second. Seeing an opening, he roared, "Xia, fire!" She answered the call. Flames burst from her maw, consuming the throne room. In infernal rage, the whole floor trembled, stone cracking under molten fury. Good girl, Lu Fan grinned. But it wasn't over yet. The dual blade knight screamed, for the king, and dashed in, lightning charging its weapons. Sparks erupted as it clashed with Lu Fan's blade. He held his ground, but barely. The other knights were closing in. No more games. Xia, Lu Fan ordered, prepare your ultimate. The dragon began to pulse, channeling chaos itself. The 99th floor, final phase. Xia unleashed a massive lava blaze, waves of heat warping the air. The knights didn't flee. They charged. And they burned. Flames swept through the hall like a tidal wave. Blackened armor crumbled, ash filled the air, and one by one, the nightmare knights fell to pieces, reduced to nothing but melted metal and fading blue sparks. Floor 99 cleared. Shaoi has leveled up, LV. 15, new skill unlocked, Black Flame Judgment. Lu Fan has leveled up, LV. 20, Lu Fan read the system window, eyes wide. You're evolving faster than me, girl. Xia gave a low, satisfied growl, already glowing with her newfound power. Meanwhile, in the surveillance room, silence. Total silence. Then the door to the 100th floor swung open on screen. The principal of First Middle School dropped his pen. Qin Shanhai, usually full of snark, whispered, "We're witnessing history." Even Bongu, the calm and collected veteran, looked visibly shaken. It's happening. In the surveillance room, the principal of First Middle School stared, slack-jawed. Hold up, this was never supposed to be possible. Meanwhile, at the top of the tower, Lu Fan stood tall on the 100th floor, a shattered kingdom strewn with skeletal remains. At the heart of the ruin, a towering throne crumbled but still held its dark majesty. Embedded in the throne was a gleaming sword, which Lu Fan yanked free. The moment he pulled it, a powerful aura erupted, swirling like a storm around him and Xia at his side. The scene before them sitting on the throne was the World Annihilation Emperor, a terrifying level 60 boss, radiating overwhelming power. Surrounding him were 500 demon soldiers, a restless, undead army ready to defend their master with their last breath. Lu Fan's secret weapon. Lu Fan glanced at Xia's stats. Her new skill, Cataclysm, was a 3-stage assault of total destruction. First, a ground-shaking impact that wreaked havoc, then an engulfing flame that burned enemies to ashes. Finally, a massive area detonation that obliterated anything left standing. Lu Fan's grin widened. Time to unleash some real chaos. Xia's transformation. With a fierce nod, Xia transformed into her destruction dragon form. Flames roared and swirled around her like a living volcano. The system flashed with her boosted stats and fresh skills, all things incinerate and lava burst included. Back in the surveillance room, principals Bai Hong and Qin Shanghai watched, stunned. Is that a whole new level of terrifying? Bai Hong muttered. Lu Fan's been holding back this kind of firepower all along. Qin Shanghai gasped. Battle begins. The demon commander barked orders, rallying the undead army to defend their emperor. But Lu Fan didn't hesitate. He grabbed a skeleton soldier like a baseball bat. Xia, Cataclysm, now! The destruction dragon let out a deafening roar, soaring high as hellfire rained down in waves. The aftermath. The system's casualty counter exploded, soldiers incinerated left and right. Flames spread like wildfire. Undead army shrank from 500 to less than 200 in moments. Xia's relentless assault burned the battlefield, healing herself amid the inferno. With a final explosive detonation, the last enemies were swallowed whole by flames. Silence fell on the surveillance room. The principals marveled. A mere student wielding this much power. Unimaginable. Qin Shanghai's eyes widened as the system updated, 42 soldiers remaining. 37. Suddenly, the demon commander stepped forward. "Kneel before your king," he demanded. Lu Fan's response gripping his dragon sword tight, Lu Fan's smirk only grew. She pressed the attack, each enemy falling swiftly, until only devastation remained, nothing but scorched earth and broken bones. The score Bai Hong too watched, deep in thought. Even the four horsemen wouldn't stand a chance. The principal from First Middle School stared in disbelief. 989, 500 points. The highest in 30 years. Bai Hong muttered, "This year's test is the hardest yet. The reward better be at least 3 rare artifacts." The final challenge. Lu Fan surveyed the ruin, sword in hand. Trash cleared. "Now, show yourself, the Annihilation Emperor." Smoke curled away as a terrifying figure emerged from the shadows. The final boss radiated suffocating, sinister energy, stomping the ground with earth-shaking force. Sword drawn, it locked eyes on Lu Fan. The look said it all, "You're dead." System alert, only one undead soldier remains. The boss charged, building momentum to strike. But Lu Fan was ready. He activated dragon armor. His arm transformed, scales rippling, fingers sharpening into wicked dragon claws. An intense aura erupted, crackling with black dragon power. Smirking, Lu Fan stretched his claws forward and signaled to Xia. "Gear up." Black Dragon Xia fixes the boss with an intimidating stare. Claws extended, ready to pounce. The Annihilation Emperor swings his massive sword with all his might, aiming to end Lu Fan in one brutal strike. But Lu Fan blocks effortlessly, dragging his dragon claws along the blade with a sharp clang. Seizing the moment, Lu Fan commands, "Xia, strike now." All things incinerate. With a roar, Xia flaps her colossal wings, unleashing fiery tornadoes that slam into the boss with devastating force. The Annihilation Emperor is sent hurtling backward, crashing into debris and plunging his sword deep into the ground to halt his slide. Shocked, the boss realizes his strength is fading rapidly. The source? Lu Fan's rare lament ring, draining the enemy's life force relentlessly. Lu Fan, with a cocky grin, points to the glowing ring and taunts, "This power drain?" It's just getting started. System confirmation, lament aura is in full effect. This rare ring, requiring at least level 15 to wield, is a total game changer, boosting Lu Fan's spirit, stamina, and strength, sapping his foes at the same time. Desperate and enraged, the boss snarls, "Cheater!" Using dirty tricks. Lu Fan remains unfazed. Calm and collected, he orders Xia to unleash the second stage of All Things Incinerate. Xia roars louder, flapping her wings with even greater fury. Fire tornadoes erupt and explode all around, detonating near the boss and smashing him into the shattered throne. The Annihilation Emperor barely holds on, bracing for a counterattack. Lu Fan's dagger gleams. He draws it back, gathering every ounce of energy. Bursting through the flames, he lunges forward in a devastating surprise attack. The boss tries to block, but it's futile. With ruthless precision, Lu Fan drives his dagger deep into the boss's chest, pinning him against the cold stone throne. The boss gasps, defeated. System declares, victory. All undead soldiers have been annihilated, 0 remain. Level up. Black Dragon Xia ascends to level 17. Lu Fan reaches level 22. Triumphant, Lu Fan strides to the throne. One foot rests on the armrest, one hand on the fallen emperor's shoulder. With flair, he yanks the dagger free. It's over, Xia. Back in the surveillance room, silence reigns. Principals and teachers are stunned. Bai Hongtu's face is pale with disbelief. No one has ever scored 1,000,000 points in the last 30 years. The first middle school principal is speechless. Mr. Qin Shanghai crosses his arms, smirking. Our school's reputation? About to skyrocket. Lu Fan casually walks away from the battlefield. Dagger resting on his shoulder, hands in his pockets. Turning to Xia, he grins playfully, "Time to go home." "Hey, have you been craving Aunt Hank's cooking?" Xia roars happily, eyes shining as she flaps close. "Definitely missed it." System announcement, level 100 cleared. A treasure chest materializes before Lu Fan. Inside, 3 incredible items await: Wrath of the Ice Dragon King, a rare blue skill book teaching devastating ice magic that freezes enemies and slows their movements. Lu Fan grins, control skills sooner than expected. Rare Spirit Wind Ring, boosts agility, stamina, and spirit, includes a skill increasing speed by 35%. Perfect for Lu Fan, though Xia can't use it. Legendary flames and frost cloak, massive stat boosts and incredible protection against fire and ice, enhancing damage against those enemy types. Lu Fan drapes the cloak over his shoulders, slides on the ring, and clutches the skill book. Feeling unstoppable, he pulls out his teleportation stone and opens a portal back to the school. Back in the surveillance room, Lu Fan appears. He greets everyone coolly and asks Principal Bongu, "Can I head home now and wait for the results?" Teachers stare in astonishment. Bai Hong steps forward, pride glowing from his face. "Lu Fan, you are the pride of this school. Your photo will hang on our wall of fame." And with that, a legend is born. Back in the surveillance room, the first middle school principal pipes up with a smirk, "Wait, doesn't the wall of fame usually honor heroes who've died fighting monsters? Are you cursing Lu Fan by putting him up there already, Bai Hong?" Bai Hong shoots back, not missing a beat, "Mind your own business. Lu Fan's broken records and his future? Immeasurable." The first middle school principal chuckles and waves it off. "Well, this exam definitely made Lu Fan famous. Mr. Qin Shanghai approaches with a serious expression, nodding in respect. "I tried preparing for this exam mentally, but Lu Fan's power. I'm still blown away." Lu Fan, locking eyes with Qin Shanghai and setting aside all emotions, asks coolly, "Have all the conditions been met? Does that mean the Princess of Tai Kingdom won't throw any more tantrums?" Qin Shanghai smiles, eyes closed, "You'll have your piece. I've got my part covered. The teacher should already have the message." Lu Fan raises an eyebrow, curious, "Teacher? Which teacher?" Qin Shanghai just places a reassuring hand on his shoulder, "Don't worry about that now. Focus on which academic institution you want next." Meanwhile, in the shadows, a man quietly adjusts his cap and walks away. It's Qin Slong, the special envoy from Longju. The principals quickly gather around Lu Fan, buzzing with excitement. Top 10 academic institutions will be fighting tooth and nail to recruit you. Don't forget wealthy merchants from the southern province, they'll be all over you, trying to build connections. They warn Lu Fan to watch his back and beware of their true motives. The first middle school principal excitedly blurts out, "Hey, Lu Fan. Can you call out Black Dragon Xia? We want to see her in person." Principal Bai Hong cuts in sharply, "No way. If Xia shows up here, she might accidentally level the whole school." All eyes turn to the ranking board. Lu Fan sits firmly on top with an insane 1.3 million points. Bai Hong can't help but gush, no one's come close to this record in 50 years. Cut to the far north, level 60 territory in the Dragon Realm at a fortified base. Marcus Tu Jing, the northern frontier marquis, sits sipping wine with a weathered, grey-haired face. He watches battle recordings of Lu Fan and Black Dragon Xia, a rare smile crossing his lips. Suddenly, a knock interrupts. A man in a jacket enters, carrying reports. Apologizing for the interruption, he hands over the files. Tu Jing's expression shifts instantly, becoming serious. He asks, "Any new evidence?" The man confirms, everything Qin Shanghai deduced is spot on. Tu Jing reads, eyes darkening. The reports detail a conspiracy involving Princess Ta Jingu and her inner circle. Even more shocking, Lord Ruan Chongfeng, a high-ranking official in Dragon City, is deeply tangled in the plot, secretly supporting the Jin family. Tu Jing's grip tightens around his wine bottle until it cracks. His jaw clenches as he mutters, "Ruan. A scheming traitor." The white-haired subordinate explains, Ruan and the Jin family pretend to maintain friendly relations, but behind the scenes, Ruan's granting them privileges. Furious, Tu Jing shatters the bottle into pieces and stands, fury blazing in his eyes. Ruan Chongfeng has been backing Princess Jingu, letting her run wild. Tu Jing declares, strip Ruan of all titles and power. Dragon City has no place for him. He dares Ruan to face him personally if he dares complain. And warns, if the Jin family tries to meddle again, the Griffin squad will be the first to greet them. The stage is set. Power struggles beneath the surface threaten to shake the realms, while Lu Fan's legend only grows. The subordinate, wide-eyed but understanding, nods and steps back respectfully. But Tu Jing isn't finished yet. Pointing firmly at the door, he orders, keep close tabs on which school Lu Fan chooses. Make sure that institution provides him with all the resources he needs. Outside, the red moon hangs heavy over the snowy northern landscape, casting an eerie glow. Tu Jing reflects quietly, this young dragon tamer, Lu Fan, has brought a rare glimmer of hope to the north. I look forward to meeting this legend someday. But with so much on my plate, who knows when that will be. Meanwhile, in a lavish hotel suite far away, Princess Jingo sits on her bed, phone in hand. Suddenly, the call comes, and the news hits her like a ton of bricks. Ruan Chung Fong has been dismissed. By none other than Mark Jing. Panic flashes across her face. The caller quickly tries to soothe her nerves, but there's some good news. Curious but frustrated, Jingu demands to know what it is. The caller reveals, with the exam results soon to be released, we discovered another dragon tamer in Qinghao City besides Lu Fan. Princess Jingu's panic morphs into wicked intrigue, a sly smile creeping across her lips. This could be a game changer. Maybe this new dragon tamer will be easier to manipulate. Back at the trial site of 3rd Middle School, Luan bids everyone farewell and vanishes into a portal. Out steps Hong Wu, freshly declared a pass on the South Province exam, scoring an impressive 89,500 points and reaching the 72nd floor of the horror level. Bursting with joy, Hong Wu already daydreams of fame, top universities battling to accept me, flashy awards, maybe even a shot at the stars. In his mind's eye, he sees the 1st Middle School principal praising him as the undisputed champion. He's convinced the buzz around him must be all about his incredible score. But reality hits differently. Approaching the principal with a proud smile, Hong Wu announces his score eagerly. The principal gives him a concerned look and asks quietly, "Is your training complete?" Hong Wu nods confidently. The principal places a reassuring hand on his shoulder, "You did exceptionally well and will easily get into a top university. But you need to know your limits and take care of those injuries." Hong Wu is stunned, trying to decode the unexpected reaction. After a moment, he realizes the message, stay humble. Grateful, he thanks the principal, understanding that humility will serve him well on his journey. Fast forward 7 days, the day the nightmare exam results are announced. As Lu Fan and Aunt Hank open their door, they're immediately engulfed by a mob of reporters and excited fans. Hank's face twists in alarm as journalists swarm her. Fans push forward, eager to hand Lu Fan gifts, one even holding out a fancy box and inviting him to visit his estate. Reporters shout questions about his university plans while more fans try to shower him with presents. The chaos is real, and Lu Fan stands at the center of a storm he never expected. Just then, Mr. Qin Shanghai arrives, adding fresh energy to the growing excitement surrounding Lu Fan. He announces with a broad smile, the university entrance exam results are about to be officially released. And let me be the first to call Lu Fan the top student in the entire South Province. Seeing the overwhelming crowd, he suggests moving indoors to continue the conversation in a more private setting. Aunt Hank, relieved by the change of pace, leads the way. Inside, Mr. Qin Shanghai pulls out 6 grand prize boxes, each filled with an astonishing 50 million yuan, an honor befitting the best student in the province. He urges Lu Fan to accept the gifts, emphasizing, this incredible achievement deserves the highest recognition. Lu Fan glances at his phone and notices a notification, he's officially secured 1st place. Although his total score remains classified, it's known that Chun Tanzi, a fierce rival, trails behind him in 2nd place with 215,628 points. Mr. Qin Shanghai continues, on top of this prize money, Principal Bai Hong has sent additional special rewards to celebrate your victory. Lu Fan's eyes gleam with curiosity as the first gift is unveiled, a skill book titled Roar of the Blue Dragon King. This powerful spell unleashes a lightning attack that paralyzes enemies and stacks power for a massive follow-up strike. Lu Fan can already imagine how this skill will perfectly complement Shuro Yi's magic, melding ice and thunder for devastating combo effects. Next up, a legendary thunder potion. This rare elixir boosts Lu Fan's lightning power and permanently increases his power attribute by 20 points. He knows this will make his thunder magic a fearsome force on the battlefield. The 3rd prize, Green Wind Armor. A rare armor piece with impressive stamina and strength bonuses, capable of deflecting impact damage. Mr. Qin Shanghai explains that every item was carefully handpicked by Principal Bai Hong himself. But that's not all. The final prize is revealed, a pair of legendary flashwing boots. These boots grant lightning-fast movement with a 30-second recharge time and come equipped with Flashwing Leap, a skill that allows the wearer to dash across a 50-meter radius at breakneck speed, also with a 30-second cooldown. Holding the briefcase packed with these epic rewards, Lu Fan marvels at how such powerful tools are usually reserved for high-ranking magicians. Determined not To waste this chance, he resolves to master these gifts, knowing they will be game changers for both him and Shirao Yi. The system confirms his acquisition, rewards obtained, Dragon King's War skill, Lightning Flashwing boots, Green Wind armor, and Legendary Thunder potion. Just as Lu Fan tries to wrap his head around the flood of powerful new items, Chinchio bursts into the room, excitement practically radiating from her. She's got some wild news that promises to shake things up even further.